everybody, and welcome to Burnout Culture. I'm one of your three hosts, Kazuma Hashimoto.
I'm the sultry, sexy GC Vasquez.
And I'm the one on the bangin' summer. It's Colin.
Damn.
I love how I was like, really easy, transition to this episode, and you guys just go, really fun with it, and I love that. That's what I love about you guys, honestly, so...
Well, it is my bangin' summer.
It is your bangin' summer?
It is my bangin' summer, and I'm gonna bang summer.
Good for
the
them.
whole summer.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what are you doing this summer, then, that requires that much banging?
Playing Dokusei Remake on Switch, because it's bangin', and the summer's bangin'.
Yeah, I'll send Summer a text. Congrats on the
No.
dick.
How about you, how about you mind your fucking business?
Oh my god.
Alright, how about you fucking back off?
Okay, I will.
You're always like, oh, I gotta introduce myself to the summer. Oh, you got a new summer you're banging. I'm like, GC, for once, can you not show up to my date pretending to be the waiter in a fake mustache and a wig and being like, how is your date? Oh, I was like, no, you don't need to do that. I got it on my own. I got it on lock.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I can bang the summer without you.
They don't call me Home Wrecking Vasquez for nothing. That's a joke. No one calls me that.
The past 4 summers before I could do it.
It's not a race,
sick
Cullen.
of your adulting ass. Stop adulterating.
God, I wish that were me. Anyway, yeah. Welcome to a brand new week of Burnout Culture. Video games happened since our last episode. Quite a few.
Oh god, so many video games.
Some of us are in the trenches of the video games.
Some of us are the last defense.
Yeah.
And I'm 100.
So you've been playing a lot of that, Colin, and I have no idea what this is because I've never Danganronpa'd in my entire life or Zero Escaped. So can you please describe this game to me?
So you play as young little dick boy Takumi,
Dick
whatever
boy?
is like. He's a little dick. He's a little dickhead boy.
Okay. Oh my god, I was like, Colin, excuse me, what?
Well, he probably does have a little dick. I fucking my least favorite, lovely little hateful little scrimblow Takumi, whatever his last name is. So he lives in the Tokyo residential complex, which immediately, you play this game and you're like, that's weird. The sky isn't real, and it's lights that are turned on at the beginning of every day. And he's living his boring life. He's like, I don't want my life to get any more interesting. I don't want to be in no death game. I don't want to be in no SRPG. I don't want to be in no VN. I just want to live my boring life, and I hate anything interesting happening. Well, he's sucked right out of that life to go fight in a war very quickly, and he has the ability to stab himself in the heart and transform into a basically he gets superpowers. And so he wakes up in a school with a bunch of other people because they're trying to poke fun at the fact that they made Danganronpa. And so this little mascot's like, yo, so there are monsters trying to invade this school of ours to try to get in deep into the school and use a weapon or whatever that'll destroy humanity. So you are the last line of defense to save humanity. And you gotta defend the school for 100 days. I better not catch y'all getting up into no Danganronpa shenanigans. If I turn around, you better not Danganronpa shenanigans. I'm so serious.
So does Danganronpa stuff happen?
Not exactly.
Okay.
So 100 Line is a game made by the main creative team behind Danganronpa. You've got the writer director Kazutaka Kodaka, Masafumi Takeda, I believe, is the composer, and the artist who GC, I'm gonna look it up real quick. Cut this part out. Or you're not gonna do that. You're gonna be like, I'm gonna keep it in because it's funny.
It's a gag. It's a bit.
It's a funny bit. Oh, and he brought attention to it. And by artist Rui Komatsuzaki. So you got the 3 people most responsible for the writing, the look, and the sound of Danganronpa back with a brand new game that is probably the most ideal situation for a Danganronpa successor that you could possibly ever get. Aesthetically, it is doing a lot of the same stuff, but the gameplay style is completely different, with this being an SRPG instead of like a, class trial point and click adventure game. But you've also got on from the Zero Escape team and, co-creator, co-president, whatever, of the Tokyo Games, which is Kodaka's like studio after Spike Chunsoft, Kotaro Uchikoshi. And Kotaro Uchikoshi's job in this was overseeing 100 different endings that this game has. This is the whole premise of the game, like the big gimmick of it, is that there are 100 endings to it, and unlike a lot of other VNs, there's no cheats. They're not like using shortcuts on this. There are a bunch of different, completely unique routes and 100 endings for you to find to like get the truth to the mystery of what's going on. So it's a big ass game. I am currently at, I think, 14 endings at 80 hours of playtime.
So are the endings actually pretty significant from each other, or is it just kind of the Shadow the Hedgehog situation?
So I'd say it's more that the routes themselves are pretty significant from one another, and there are different like branches on those routes that take you to the endings. Some of the endings, I will say that they kind of cheat a little bit, but I definitely understand where they've come from. And it's like, I think the specific was that it's not like we'll like cut to black and then have like a little explainer text. Like there's unique CGs for every ending. There is a lot of like effort put into them. Like there are bad ends, but they don't feel exactly all the time cheating in a way. But for the most part, what I think is really cool about this game is once you start diving into all the different endings, every route does feel substantially different from the last. Not in terms of just like the story going on, but the genre of story as well seems to shift depending on what route you get into. And I think it's very fun. The whole game feels like a love letter to visual novels as a medium, which I think is really cool. Like I'm seeing a lot of stuff I like that's very familiar to someone who has played a lot of these games for most of his life. It feels like it's paying homage to all these different kinds of styles of games. Like there definitely feels like a bit of like there was one ending I got that felt a bit dramatical murder-y, which I thought was fun. There's like more hardcore serious like murder mystery routes. Like just explaining exactly what this game has is a bit of a spoiler in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So I will just say, if you've ever played a visual novel, I'd say this is an easy recommendation. But if you have not played as many visual novels and you were to perhaps want to play a neat SRPG, then I think there's someone else in this very call who might be able to offer his experience with that.
Yes, there is.
Because there's someone who, against my suggestion, decided I can handle that. I can smoke that loud. I can handle that Kodaka Kush.
So I've never played a Kodaka game. I've never played an Uchikoshi game. I'm not the audience for this sort of thing. I don't like killing games. I actually hate the killing game premise.
GC was not a teen on Tumblr.
I do not think they are. I was actually. I was there when they had
not my kind.
I was there when Tumblr had scores for your blogs, a Tumblology score, and my score was pretty good. And then they took it away, and then I got bored because they ungamified it, and I was horribly, horribly poisoned by gambling. Anyway, so
yes, and then it was after that though. My era of Tumblr teen,
yeah,
the fucking scene kids,
the Onceler era.
Yes,
of,
oh
the
my god,
Onceleys.
what? Wait, Cullen, were you a Onceler fan?
No, but I was there. I was in the trenches. I saw that.
Oh, okay. Well, do you remember? Okay, this is a very specific memory. I have never seen the movie with the Onceler in it, nor the one with the Jack Frost.
The Thorax.
Where they shipped them?
I know that. I know that because there was a post on Tumblr that was like, I have, taken the Onceler X Jack Frost Tumblr username, and if anybody wants it, they can pay me. And then someone had DM'd them asking them for the URL, and they would in fact pay them.
GC can confirm this. Like, I do not hide my Tumblr background. For a while, mandated on my server, my personal server, I made everyone pick a Onceler name, like a Onceler Tumblr blog name.
I remember that.
And like everyone grabbed so long ago, but there's so many good ones. I think I might have been Ask Bluntler. Let's see. There was like, GC, were you Ask Daddy Oncey?
No, I was not Ask Daddy Oncey.
Were you the Druggler?
I was not the Druggler.
What?
Were you the Fluffler?
I was not the Fluffler.
Were you the Timid Onceler?
Nope. I don't think I was any of those. I think
You know what?
I think I was assigned one.
Yeah.
I would. Can I assign you a sassy gay Onceler?
Yeah, you can assign me a Onceler. I was on Tumblr before you.
No, I said can assign you sassy gay Onceler?
Yeah, I can be sassy gay Onceler.
All right, cool.
Okay.
GC,
Change my name in the server, please.
Okay, yeah, sure. GC, I'm just gonna pick one at random. How about stupid Onceler? All right, let's move on.
Fine.
GC.
Yeah,
I know. Oh my
That's
god.
fine. I can live with that. So anyway, I'm not usually the target audience for these kinds of things, and like I'll be honest, like with a lot of like, I don't want to call it this, but like this is the closest. Like I'm not a fan of like a lot of like anime stylings. So like a lot of like storytelling in anime, a lot of like the visuals of anime, I can take it or leave it. Now that's in respect to the fact that there's so much of it, right? So like proportionally, there's like a billion different kinds of anime stuff out there, and I'm into maybe like 10% of that, 2% of that, which is still a lot, but like, you know, I'm very particular about things that like click with me and things that don't. And what I look for in a lot of anime style things is sort of, how do they handle that, the nature of that, right? So when I started Hunterline, I was like, oh, this is kind of like a shonen thing. It's a little bit like a shonen thing. At least the first like 35 hours of it is like a shonen thing. But what I thought interesting was that, like, I don't know if this is typical for Uchikoshi and Kodaka, but what I really liked about like the characters is that they kind of follow a lot of like anime tropes, but they don't do the anime tropes specifically. They kind of like find ways to make those tropey things interesting. There's like the biker guy who's like a delinquent, but like all he ever talks about is the time he volunteers at old folks' homes. And he's like this like hero archetype, but he's just very vulgar and very aggressive about it.
It's also funny with that guy in particular. He's like, there's a particular like girl on the group that really pisses him off. And he's like, you know what? I've had enough with you. And then he just like starts punching himself in the face. He's like, I can't hit women, bro. I can't hit women, bro.
Yeah, he's like, I can't hit women, so I'm gonna punch myself in the face so I can calm down. And it's like, like obviously it still very much fits that like space and the genre that it's of, but like it's doing it in a fun way, almost like in an not like, I say sincerity, but like sincerity implies like, you know, heartfelt, emotional, like whatever. But it's just more of like unabashedness. It's just like, yeah, we're having fun with this idea, and then like they have another character.
Self-indulgent.
Yes, and it's self-indulgent without necessarily like lampshading. They have one character who's literally a parody of lampshading, where everything she says is almost a lampshade, and everyone constantly tells her to shut the fuck up. But she's also like completely emotionally unstable for various reasons.
She is so far my favorite character in the game.
She adds a lot of levity to like the scenario, but also like it's well placed and well timed.
Her whole bit is she is a big fan of killing games.
Yeah, she's like a Danganronpa fan.
She is basically a Danganronpa fan who is really upset that she got off the wrong train and is not in the Danganronpa game.
Yeah, she's like, because it's not a killing game, which I want to point out. Like, the game is not a killing game.
No, it's a SRPG. Yeah,
yeah, it's just like an SRPG that's like it's kind of like visceral, but like in a very tame way. Like if you've seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, you're not gonna bat an eye at any of the quote unquote gore elements that are in this game. But like, I was really entertained by all of this, and I actually kind of like the main character, like the Takumi kid, because he's playing the straight man for an entire group of like manzai performers. Like everybody else is the silly person and he's the everyman, and he is like doing his best to keep it together, surrounded by a bunch of eccentric weirdos. And I quite like that dynamic. I think all the characters sort of like are little like acknowledgments of different tropes and stuff in like really cool ways. I was really taken by it. I was like, wow, this is nice. And then as like the game goes on and stuff, like they do a really good job with like withholding a lot of information. Some stuff is a little obvious, but I also think like the obvious stuff is there to like further obfuscate the less obvious stuff. So you're like trying to like push past all these red herrings, and you're just like, and that's like sort of like the chase for the answers you're looking for. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the SRPG stuff.
Way better than it had any right to be.
Why haven't these people made another thing like this before?
So they have, I think, I don't know if you've paid attention to the logos that pop up when you boot up the game. Media Vision is one of the ones that popped up, and those are the people who made the SRPG mechanics.
Okay.
They are known for the Wild Arms series, Valkyria Chronicles 3, Digimon Cyber Sleuth.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I think outside of Wild Arms, they kind of haven't done too much of their own like games. Often they kind of just like work for other studios.
That's because Wild Arms is good, but it did not become the legacy series
that it should have, honestly.
Yeah.
So I think the last game they worked on before 100 Line was Valkyria Chronicles 4.
That one, I hear that one's pretty good.
I remember liking that a lot. Yeah. But so wow. Like, as an SRPG fan, we don't get much. GC can probably agree, at least with like, you play like RTS and stuff, right?
Well, I play a lot of SRPGs. I don't think we get a lot of like innovation. We don't get a lot of like experimentation or like different kinds. We don't get a lot of games. We get like maybe like one a year. Yeah, we don't get a lot of games, but we also like when those games come out, sometimes it's just bad. Like they're either bad or they don't really like explore that genre or that kind of game. Like they play it very safe, right? Like the first one that comes to my head is like Dark Deity, and Dark Deity is basically a Fire Emblem fan game that did really well. But if you look at like the mechanics and stuff of it and some of like the stuff, a lot of people say, you know, it's just kind of okay. And it's largely because it's like SRPGs, at least the popular ones, at least the ones that people know about, the ones that people are going to actually play and be inspired by, they don't really push the envelope at all. But they do, but like not enough. And like they kind of like, like they get homogenous. So like Langrisser and Fire Emblem, I can interchange those in my mind because like they kind of pretty much play mostly the same. So like stuff like that. But this is great. Like, number one, all of your units, they all function differently. So like one of the things that I love Fire Emblem, but one of the things that I've always found very uninspired by it is like everybody attacks the same way. Either you attack one tile away or 2 tiles away. Or
another thing is, because of the nature of the game, you have to have like multiple versions of the same class.
Yes.
So you could pick your favorite, or, you know, in case one dies, you got a backup. In this one, every single person is their own class, and that is it. Because what's cool about this game is that if they are in your, like, if they're in the party, like if they're in the school, you are using them in battle. It's not a situation where you're picking your party out of like 5 out of like 15 or whatever. Everyone's going out. Every unit that you have is going to join the fight. And because every unit is unique, and by unique, I mean their attack patterns are different. So, and some of them don't attack at all. Like some of them are purely defensive units. Some of them are support units that are better at like, the game has like a voltage mechanic that can affect other units or allow you to do special moves with different people. But everyone's special move behaves differently, and they all target different spaces on the map, and like their mechanics behave differently. So like you have one character who's like, she's a really good sniper, but
if she moves before attacking, she loses attack. She gains a buff if she doesn't move when you attack with her.
And if you use her best move, she is like fun. She's basically weak for the rest of the turn.
Yeah. And if you use the move that gives the attack bonus or whatever, or like that benefits from that, then immediately she loses her attack bonus and then she can't do any damage unless you restore her fatigue, which you can with like consumable items that regenerate in every map or whatever. And like the game is sort of built around this idea of like, because you have all these units and because everyone's going to be fighting and because everybody moves differently, the game is pretty, I wouldn't say hard, but it is demanding in the sense of like, they're very smart. If the game is not particularly difficult, we are going to grade you based on how well you do. So now you have an incentive to do really well, because the higher your rank in a mission, the more like rewards you get. And then you use those rewards to make your unit stronger. So performing poorly will lead to performing worse later down the road. So there is like a sense of stakes and like an encouragement to coordinate your units effectively.
Also, the game has a like recommended play style and it wants you to play really aggressively. So it designs everything around that, like that idea. Because every time you defeat an enemy, you gain a new turn.
If you defeat a special enemy. So if you defeat if you there's the jobbers that have 1 HP, but pretty much any enemy that doesn't have 1 HP will give you an additional move on that turn if you kill it. So you start like chaining attacks together. But then there's like a fatigue system where it's like units can't move their full range of motion if they take a second action on that turn, unless you restore their fatigue in some way. So they can only move like one space at a time after that. So there's also like an incentive like, well, where am I going to be at that point? Can I chain this unit's attacks to like kill these things? And like, who do I go with first? And the whole thing works well. And what Cullen was saying is they want you to play really aggressively to the point where it's like, if you always have access to all your units, and the challenge of the game is not necessarily keeping units alive so much as, because I'll get into that, is there's no permadeath in the game, at least from what I know. For like the first 35 hours, there's no permadeath. Characters
in battle, no.
Yeah, characters die in battle. They can be used again on the next wave, because the game is also like a tower defense thing. When they are low health, you are able to use their special attack for free, but it kills them.
Oh.
So you lose access to that unit. But if you look at the map and you're like, they're gonna die next on the enemy's turn, they're gonna die. Do I try to keep them alive, or do I just go for damage and then let them die? And then on the next wave, they come back and you go, well, okay, so you've eliminated the permadeath problem that SRPGs have had recently in that discussion, right? Where it's like, oh, units, whatever. But the point is that the game is sort of built around this idea of like, because unit death isn't of consequence, and because the loss condition in the game is you lose all your units in the battle, or the barrier that you're protecting, because it's tower defense, goes down, you are very much encouraged to optimize all your turns. And you do something that I feel a lot of SRPGs forget is like a core part of their tenets, which is you strategize. And I have not had to I've not had to like strategize in an SRPG in a long time, because a lot of them are not that hard. One, and two, like they're not very compelling as like strategy. So like, even if the game is easy in some places, and it is, like, at least for me, because I play a lot of like strategy stuff, so I like to think I'm very good at them. Even if the game is not necessarily hard, I am like very much engaged with the idea of like resource management and chaining action points together to get more stuff. And
because the optimization, or like the asking you to optimize, adds a different layer of difficulty, where like in the efforts of trying to maximize those turns, you could make a fuck up and leave your like defenses completely left like open.
Yes.
And then like that back and forth is engaging. That's the kind of strategy game difficulty I really like, where I'm often I'll be able to win. I haven't lost any, but like I get really close sometimes, and it's that like feeling of, oh, I almost could have lost this all, but I gambled really hard and I completely won it at the end. that I just absolutely love.
Or you caught something that you might have missed. It's basically like playing chess. SRPGs are a lot like playing chess. You're playing chess and your opponent is deliberately asking you to pick the best move because your opponent is going to pick the best move against you. And that's like where SRPGs become compelling, where it's like, it's not really about, losing pieces, right? Because that's like one of those things that I've never understood, because SRPGs are very much like rooted in like the origins of chess or in some cases shogi. And like those games are built around losing pieces. You sacrifice pieces for things. But the one thing that SRPGs have developed over time that I'm glad Hunterline does not do is they've turned these pieces into like these like precious things that you need to protect, because like either you will never have access to that piece ever again, or that piece will gain like a wound or something. And that's fun in its own right. But like there is a refreshing joy of playing a strategy RPG where it's like, no, your pieces on the board, you should be using those pieces as decoys, as sacrificial pawns, as like those kinds of things, because like
you've got to let Gaku kill himself for the 1000th time in this mission. It's really fun.
that is part of like the origins of strategy games. Like, yeah, sometimes you lead a piece to die. The game also has like some commentary about that, obviously, but like, it's fun to play a strategy game that adheres to that really understands what like a strategy game could be, and was not afraid to sort of like completely abandon the permadeath thing that like so many SRPGs today like really, really obsess over. And it's very nice that I'm not that conversation isn't even occurring in like the conversation around this game. No one's talking about like the lack of permadeath or whatever.
It also is great because that means that their story writing isn't so fucking boring, because they have to consider the fact that your units might have died.
Yeah, everybody can remain like a character in the story.
And if they die, it's because of like narrative decisions that you make.
Yeah.
Or like it just happens in the narrative. It's really good. To kind of wrap up a little. Oh, did you have more to say?
No, I was just going to say, Cosm, I think you would hate this game.
Oh, yeah. You would despise it.
Really?
I don't know. I feel like for me, it kind of like aesthetically, like I'm playing it and there's things about it that I don't like, because there are things about it that fall into like that category of anime that I find like excruciating. But like there's a lot of like really good, charming, like well used sort of like ideas there. But I feel like my tolerance for that thing is sort of tempered because I'm also like a shonen anime fan. Like I'm obsessed with it. So I feel like if you played that, and we're kind of similar, and I feel like if you played it, I think you might be like within like the first like maybe 30 minutes, you'd be like, oh my fucking God. Like I think your face would melt.
It is a game that asks you to, I would say that this game kind of has like a 40-hour prologue.
It's the slowest burn imaginable.
It is a slow burn. I am 100%.
Do we have it on Steam?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, I'm going to install it and give it a shot, because I actually need to play something that is out of my wheelhouse.
Okay, cool.
I am 100% the guy this was made for. So I'm like, I'm gone. I have, I'm the mark. I'm the sucker. It's literally everything I wanted. I doubted the vision because Raincode was poopy doo-doo, but no, 100 Line is 100% the game I have always dreamed that these guys would make. And I am very convinced that the roots will break GC. I don't think he's ready for it. I have stared into the abyss of this game. I've seen the darkness it is capable of, and it felt like I was going in the trenches. This game made me feel horrors I have not felt since I was like a child experiencing these like grim, dark kind of VNs for the first time. And it's just like the fact that it could do this to me, at age 28, like make me feel these things that I have not felt in so long. I'm just kind of like, I can't believe they did it. I'm shocked at how much game there is and how versatile of a game it is. And I still can't believe I've only like 14 endings of 100. There's so much left. It's
I'm
It's
excited
crazy.
for you. Like I'm
I'm
actually
happy
happy
for
for
me.
you. Yeah, like you get this thing that you love and you get a lot of it, right?
I've got
And
too much. I'm
it's good
scared.
that you got something that you
I'm
like, you
scared.
know?
Yeah.
The game
Well,
doesn't
you know,
end. Help.
It's summer.
Help.
It's summer and
Help.
you're banging summer
Help.
and
Help.
summer
Help.
is 100 line
Help.
or whatever.
Help. I'm getting banged by 100 line in the summer. Help.
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 That's a big
Help.
train. That's a big train. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know
Yeah,
about
buddy.
that.
This is we can move on in a second. I
Without
just
a
gotta
break?
get it out. I am so tired in a good way, but like so exhausted playing this game.
I bet.
I've been playing it for a couple weeks now because I reviewed it, or I did a non-score review on RPG site, which basically boiled down to 100 Lion is the scariest guy I've ever met in my life. It is it is so
Sorry,
it is
I'm
a
thinking of Michael King crying.
That is what you should be thinking of. Yes. That was what I was trying to incite in you.
Bane is the
100 Lion is
scariest
the
man I've ever
scariest
seen in my
guy
life.
I've ever seen in my life.
Michael King.
Michael Caine. Thank you, Michael Caine. Banger back of the box review quote.
Yeah.
But I called the game a conceptual nightmare, and it is. I gotta shout out all of my unemployed friends who have already gotten further than I have when I had like a 2 to 3 week head start. You guys are doing great. I hope you get a job soon. You gotta slow down, please.
They're all over Twitter. I've been watching them. It's too much. It's too far. Too quick.
Y'all gotta slow down.
I'm
You
unemployed
gotta slow
essentially
down.
right now. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like,
I'm happy for y'all, and I'm glad you're like you're locked the fuck in. But like, you know, I hope the job market improves.
yeah. So, I mean, this is a great segue to say is like, it's very telling that I'm enjoying 100 Line because I put 36 hours into it after putting 7 hours into it's, at this point, given the way that the creators are sort of like complimenting each other online and stuff, at this point, it's like sister game or cousin companion game, Expedition 33, Clair Obscur.
Oh, yeah.
I thought I would have time to play this to be ready for our talk.
Yeah.
I have not touched this yet.
It's,
It's Final Fantasy X, but French.
it is, I like it.
I forgot about the French.
You forgot about the
oh,
French.
The French.
Finally, a French game that does not remind me of David Cage.
I forgot about bisexuality.
I forgot about. Oh wait, maybe I can do that. Hold on, let me try to do narrator Titus but French. So like regular
Okay.
Titus is like
I forgot about bisexuality.
Bisexuality.
so regular narrator Titus is like I forgot about bisexuality,
I
And
forgot
then-
about
Too good at that.
bisexuality.
and then French would be like I forgot about the bis. Oh my god, it's the
You gotta enunciate a little
later.
bit because it's also like it's not just for he like the way they write narrator
Enunciate
Titus
in
is-
French?
enunciates. Well, no, it's like I have forgotten about bisexuality. Like first he can't just say forgot. He's like I had forgotten on.
About the bisexuality.
You're gay. What?
Sorry to any French people that listen to our podcast.
Listen, I
I'm
don't.
so fucking sorry.
Listen, I'm
Oui.
sorry. I'm sorry. It's just.
Okay.
Look, I know. Look, it's fine. It's fine. Americans get made fun of about their accent all the time. It's fine.
We live in Burgerland. That's whatever.
We live in Burger
so-
Town.
Yeah. Okay, anyways, Clair Obscur is a French turn-based RPG that is deeply inspired by Japanese video games.
I like it. I've only played 7 hours. I got through what is essentially what I'm gonna call like the first quote unquote dungeon.
Oh, the first land.
Yeah, like the first like area, and I quite like it mechanically and all that. And I will say I was very I want to say I went into the game when I streamed it. I couched the entire game with the expectation that it was gonna frustrate the shit out of me because I am a stickler for writing and stuff like that, and I was hearing like mixed things from people. And I think overall I'm positive on it. I very much do agree that it falls into certain things that we've talked about on the podcast before, at least in like those first 7 hours, where I'm like, in a lot of cases, this would make me roll my freaking eyes, because it very much teeters on that edge of like, we're going to try to make you cry in the first like 30 minutes of our game, so that when you talk about it online, you can be like, this is like the most like incredible thing I've ever played in my life.
Thank you, Steve from Big Top Burger.
I played this game and it did unspeakable things to my mind and body. Penny! Sorry. So like, I think it did it well. I don't think it did it terribly. I think it earned, I don't necessarily think it like, when I say like it earned sort of like the things that I felt, I did not cry. I did not like become emotionally invested or anything, but I felt like it was well framed. I think it was well told, the prologue stuff. I don't think it was like too melodramatic. I don't think it was like too like whatever. I actually quite liked its, like visually it was very over the top. Visually it's very, very expressive, very, very strong. But I think like the writing itself was pretty underplayed, and like I kind of liked that contrast. I know usually I'm like the person that's like, oh, I hate pretentious things, but I was like, it's not the most pretentious. I've seen more pretentious things before, you know.
You've seen David Cage games, which is an incredibly low bar.
It is, but like, yeah, like fucking, you know. So then I played the game and I got into the mechanics and the stuff like that, and I really do love this game. I actually really quite like a lot of the stuff that's in the game. UI, UX we can talk about, because that's not the best. And menus are very confusing. So I know some people that didn't know there was a menu to equip. So the game has a materia system. You find materia, you can put it on a character.
More like in Final Fantasy 9.
Yeah. You find an ability, you put it on a character. That character, after 4 battles, the ability gets mastered, and anybody in your party can equip the ability without the item that it's like attached to, by using like a point system. The menu for that point system is buried, absolutely buried in layers of like UI. So you have to hit start. You have to go into a character, which, by the way, it's not clear which character you're actually selecting in the pause menu. Then you go to the menu that lets you equip the items that give you the abilities, and then you click the left stick to pull up the equip menu for the abilities that have already been mastered, and then you can put those on. But it's like a point system and like whatever, and then I think they just need to make like certain things brighter. It won't fix everything, but like the highlighted option is like gray as opposed to black, but like the gray they use is like, so I don't know, maybe I'm misremembering. It's just like it needs to be more obvious. Like maybe turn up the brightness on that a little bit so that like it's very obvious, because like nothing in the menu catches your eye. Like there's no, like if the menu's going to be busy, then the thing that highlights things in my menu needs to be very bright, very obvious, and very distracting.
Make it gold, because that fits with the gold and black color scheme.
Yeah,
right?
Make it gold. That's a great example.
Gold.
And yeah, like do that so that way like I can see it, right? That won't fix everything, but yeah. And then like the mechanics of the game are good. Every party member, Cullen, you'll love this. You know how in Final Fantasy X every character has like their own mechanics?
Yeah.
This is taken to an extra degree. It is so like every party member doesn't just have their own mechanic per se. They have their own core mechanic. Mm-hmm. So for example, your main character has a arm that he charges up by doing other attacks, and then he uses other attacks to spend the charges, and that's like his like gimmick. And then you have your second party member who she casts spells, and when she casts spells, she gains stains of different elements. And then when she casts a spell, if she has specific colored stains that the spell requires to do extra stuff, she will automatically spend those to do. So her mechanic is you generate different elemental stains to get extra things out of your attacks. And then the third party member is a fencer, and she has different stances. So different attacks put her in different stances. And if she changes to a specific stance, or if she does an ability while she's in a specific stance, it gains additional stuff. So there's like a rotation almost. Like every character has like a rotation of abilities. But then on top of that, their skill trees, which are very similar. I keep doing FF10 comparisons because that's like the most obvious one for me anyway, is like they all have their own sphere grid basically, and you can build them in different ways. So like you can build the way I'm building the spellcaster is I'm putting her down like her lightning branch for abilities, where when she gets critical hits, it generates extra hits on her spells. And so when I go to level her up, because they also level up and gain attribute points, I'm spending the attribute points into her critical hit stat. There's also a weapon system that different weapons, every character equips a different like main weapon, just like in Final Fantasy X, but different kinds of those weapons scale off of different stats. So you are matching the type of weapon with the type of way you're building the character to synergize and get the most out of things. But then also weapons can be upgraded and gain additional abilities and effects when they're upgraded. So it's not like I find a new weapon and then I throw out the old one. It's no, you hold on to all of these and then like you will mix and match your abilities and stuff. You can also respec. And as you can see, Cullen, there's like layers being built here, right? Like layers of mechanics.
I want to jump in and say that you've played 7 hours of this game and everything you're describing is very complex in theory, right? But the more you play it, the gameplay loop is the same for combat all the time. So while it has this complexity, to me, it feels very surface level. It's not at all like Final Fantasy X, which is like obviously the closest comparison to where switching out party members for specific fights was actually pretty necessary. And having that strategy for you guys went on the Unalesca fight, right?
Yes.
And how much strategy that actually required, figuring that out and everything.
Yes.
Making sure you have team members that are,
Oh, GC was there for me playing that. I was sweating.
Yeah. Well, Clair Obscur will never has a moment like that. Instead, it's okay, perfect dodge, perfect parry, attack, perfect dodge, perfect parry, attack, over and over and over again. So all of the mechanical complexity that GC is mentioning boils down to doing 2 things in combat the entire time. It's just like a shame because, again, like I think on the surface, when you play this game for like a couple of hours, and this is not shading you, GC, it's very easy to look into this game and be like, wow, this is fascinating, or this is like really interesting, when in the end, it's just like a French reskin of Final Fantasy X, in my opinion, done like objectively worse with some Legend of Dragoon and Lost Odyssey mixed in. If you've never played either of those games, then you'll probably be really impressed by this. I don't know. I got so bored when I realized that, oh, okay, enemies have shields. All right, time to use my action points to break those shields, or use Lune's lightning skill to break those shields, and then perfect parry and perfect dodge to get action points back. Attack, perfect parry, perfect dodge, get those action points back, and that's just the core gameplay loop. And later fights, GC, if you don't do that, you're gonna instantly die no matter what you do.
Yeah. So I was gonna get into that, where it's like you have like all these complex mechanics that are like starting to layer on each other. And I was going to say, like, it's a very strong first impression, right? And then in those 7 hours, the one thing that stood out to me is that there is like a real problem where the game is so visually busy. So like,
it has no accessibility options either for like the parry and dodge. That's a fucking nightmare.
This is not like an isolated thing. I've seen a couple other people talking about it, where it's like, a lot of people like the way this game looks, right? And that's fine. You know, I like the game, the way the game looks. I know people who don't like the way the game looks. I get it. But one thing I think is something that is observable and probably measurable is the fact that like moves are so elaborate. This game also has the Elden Ring problem, Cullen.
Oh, it sure does.
Where like enemies, the way enemies attack is so purposefully like delayed, where it's like, I'm going to swing my sword any minute. And then like they never do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like they like, and in regards to that, like in Elden Ring, you can at least make the excuse that it's like, well, you know, you can see it. In this game, animations are so pretty and so elaborate and so polished, and particle effects are so plentiful and so, you know, well done that you cannot read the battlefield. I cannot look at this game and focus on one single part of the screen. My like, yeah, like I like usually, right? Like you're playing a game that is very visually pretty, but when you get into like the fights, you're like, I'm not looking at any of that. I'm looking at what I got to focus on, right?
You're looking at Lune's feet.
Don't do that.
GC
here.
would,
God damn it.
Literally, I'm glad someone called him out for his crimes.
She's the one that does the stains, by the way. So, you know,
Why
now
you
you
want
have a
her
fun
feet to stain?
fun data
What?
point. Yeah.
What's your problem, bro?
So like you can't really read the screen very well. You can't read the timings. And like I'm not bad at action shit. Like the Souls games are like my bread and butter. Like I play those games front to back all the time. So like timing is not an issue for me. But in this game, it's like I have to like there's like I gotta pull up my stream. You can see me. You can see my eyes like scanning the screen for stuff that's happening. And then you can see me like squint or like strain my eyes so that it stays like in one place, because so much stuff is happening on screen that I can't like, my eye is literally catching stuff that's going on. And I can't like fucking pay attention to what's happening in front of me. It's very distracting. And like, yeah, like, over time, I do expect like this dodge parry system for defensive stuff to like get old fast, especially because the game is so demanding of it. In the difficulty settings, it said like, oh, if you play on normal, dodging and parrying isn't necessary, but it totally is. It totally is.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Within like the first, I think like the second fight on the other continent. Yeah. It's like, you got to do it or you fucking die.
You do it or you die. And I don't want to say this to be like, oh, you know, this game isn't as great as everyone's saying is. This game's actually a big stinky poo poo doo doo, whatever.
I'll say it.
You can say it. You're fine. You're entitled to say whatever you want. But like, I think people are looking at like the massive amount of layers. This and to be for context, like this is blatantly them trying to make a love letter to turn-based RPGs that they like. So like. And it's very ambitious. So like you think about that and you're like, okay, this is why it has like 50 layers of mechanics, because they wanted to just like, they were basically like, we're going to grab everything that we like and we're going to find a way to like mash them together. And I do think,
the warriors.
Yeah. And I think they've combined it. Like Cosmo said, theoretically, they did a good job like making systems that play well together. But I think like when it comes to the actual combat stuff, it really is just dependent on you dodging and parrying to like win battles.
Yeah, because then it becomes really boring. Like I just knew the moment like again that hit me, I was like, oh, this is no longer fun for me. There is no actual thought or strategy behind any of these fights. This is meaningless and superficial and shallow. It's like having a multi-layered cake and you bite into it and then it tastes like nothing.
It's the parry problem.
Yeah, and like I want to talk about this from an accessibility standpoint, right? Which is I'm very surprised people that reviewed this did not talk about this. If you are hard of sight and you need to hear things to parry and dodge in this game, only certain attacks have audio cues. Visually, only certain attacks have like extremely like easy to parse visual cues, which is a fucking problem, right? If you're playing this game and you are someone that has an impairment, which I think is ridiculous. I'm just talking from personal experience here. There was a game I wanted to give a 10 out of 10, and I gave it a 9, and I wrote in my review, this is a fucking accessibility nightmare, right?
Yeah.
Because that's part of it, right? It's part of the polish, it's part of the experience. And regarding the UI, some of the stuff isn't translated well either, and I think that's why people are having a hard time finding stuff. And the text is really, really tiny for descriptions. I was playing on a big screen with Jake, and I was like, I cannot read some of this, and I'm wearing glasses, and I'm pretty close to the TV. But I feel like that could just be like an aspect ratio thing or whatever. Like that happens all the time. People like
blowing up like small resolutions on big screens.
Mhm.
yeah, and making video games is hard, and having to accommodate all of that can be super difficult. So I'll give them that, because this is a double A team with 30 plus employees. I'm saying 30 plus because it was not 30 people that made this game. It was like a bunch of other people too. But
also like sound
yeah.
cues for attacks is also just like a game design thing. Like outside of accessibility, like that's just part of like when you have like a parry system or some kind of system that requires timing. Like usually there is a distinct sound cue accompanying the thing, even if it's not like a one size fits all sound cue. Like literally, if you hear an attack often enough, you're like, oh, this is when I hear that specific tone, that's when I'll do it. You know, stuff like that.
Even From Software games do it, and they are by far some of the most inaccessible games known to man. Like, come on.
Get their ass.
But yeah, I mean, GC, I think you're gonna love the end of the game. I hated it. I just here's my thing with people being really inspired by stuff and then wanting to make something like it that is too deeply inspired by it, where it is basically just like an off-brand version of what they enjoy, right?
Right.
Final Fantasy XIV has this problem. It's more self-referential. Like usually every X-Pack is inspired by some Final Fantasy game, and I just fucking hated it because it wasn't its own thing, and it had the ability to be its own thing. I think Clair Obscur tries to be its own thing, but it is just a version of Final Fantasy X with some other games sprinkled in that's French. And I think that's a fucking shame, because Clair Obscur, okay, and this is, I don't want anyone who's French to get fucking mad at me, but Clair Obscur does not use the time period it's set in effectively to tell its story. It is not even set dressing. It is barely there throughout the entire game. And what's the point of setting it in the Belle Epoque if you aren't going to use those visual and cultural and historical, like, I don't know, fucking
ideas.
All this stuff you get from it, right? The Belle Epoque is like a really fascinating point in history. Of course, this game isn't going to contend with French colonialism and stuff and everything that came with that, but it's really just like, look, there's the Eiffel Tower, and it's distorted to reference this one like French guy's photograph. Here's some interesting architecture in a very specific area that references it, but it never does anything with that setting. So it's just it just, to me, this whole game is just kind of there.
It's kind of like people that use like Christian imagery in their stuff without like using it for a purpose, where it's just there for like the visual sort of like awe of it.
Yeah, and like I think I was talking about this in the Discord. I don't know if you were there, GC, but I was like really bummed out because I was like, damn, I can't believe the BioShock series is a better fucking like job.
Oof.
Yeah. It does a better, BioShock does a better job of utilizing its setting and era to work in tandem with the story to like actually create something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're playing BioShock, you're like, oh, this is the the Roaring 20s, right?
Yeah.
This is, and everything sort of plays into like what happened in the Roaring 20s, like the opulence, the upper class, etc., etc. This is just like, all right, this is French. This is like French. Sorry,
French.
like ranch, like ranch.
French. I love French.
But yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, and then I think it's fun that the developers put that mime enemy and that, you know, you get the baguette and the beret and the little ascot.
It's good that it has a sense of humor.
Yeah. But like, I'm playing your game and you're setting it in a real period in time. I want that. Give that to me. Do not be Assassin's Creed Unity Lite, where you do not engage with the time period you are in, and you can't even use your stupid protagonist as an excuse for that. A lot of these devs are ex Ubisoft, so
yeah.
I feel like that's I can just make that comparison. But like, I don't know. I don't believe this game is the second coming of Christ. I think the reception around it, and we talked about this like privately and stuff. Like, I
thought about what we talked about, and like, definitely we can get into it a little bit. Like, people are treating this game as, Cullen, if you play this game, Cullen, you're going to be like, this is great. But I don't think you're going to be like, this is one of the greatest RPGs ever because you play like a ton of RPGs. You
Yeah.
absorb them.
I made a post about this where it was just like, and I don't even think this is against the game itself, but like the discourse around it, where we keep like these turn-based RPGs come out and they are good, and then we go, this is going to save this genre forever, and then a couple months later, a new turn-based RPG comes out that is good, and then go, this is going to save the genre forever, and then we just keep doing it. And
Yeah.
we just keep.
Stupid.
There's this weird, I don't know what it is. I think it's like, so I was thinking about it, it's like, I think it's coming from two different schools of thought. You have the people who think turn-based RPGs are lame, and the reality is they've never touched a turn-based RPG in their life, or they don't touch a lot of them, and then they pick one up because it's like packaged in a way that's like appealing to them, and then it's literally like it literally plays like most of the turn-based RPGs you can play, right? Like it might do some cool stuff here and there, but like, and I'm not saying that all RPGs are interchangeable, but like, you know, like it's not like bog standard, but it's like, you know, like this is just what the genre does. The genre has been doing this since forever, right?
Since what was it, 1997 with Legend of Dragoon.
Yeah, and like people are losing their minds, all right, and they're like super taken aback because they don't have a lot of experience in the genre, or you have the people with like an underdog complex, and I know I'm making an assumption about a human being, I'm sorry, but like you have like there's like this weird sentiment about turn-based RPGs being like
fans with chips on their shoulder. No
yeah,
way.
like it's like oh the genre, you know, it's just, you know, like nobody this and that
Nobody
and
plays these games
and like we're all gonna, you know, the art of the turn-based RPG is dying and like this and that, and it's like,
bro, there's 3 Trails games that come out a year now. Shut up.
Fire Emblem is literally one of the best-selling franchises for Nintendo of all time.
and like it's just so annoying to me because it's annoying. I'm not annoyed at the people. I'm annoyed at like the
sentiment.
yeah, like I'm annoyed at the
scent. I'm annoyed at their scent. They smell bad.
Ew.
it's stinky.
Oh,
Get out of
wee.
here.
Pew pew. I'm annoyed at like because the people that make Expedition 33 did not make Expedition 33 going, we're going to revive the genre.
They were literally like, we just really like Japanese RPGs, and they're honestly fucking weebs.
Yeah, like they're just a bunch of dudes or people. Sorry.
The interviews where they're like, yeah, we've played a lot of these games. Some may say too much. We want more pain. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's way better than the billionth interview that's like, oh, we can do this better.
Or I don't, like I would encourage you to try to do thing better, right? I don't think there's any harm in that, but like yeah, like having an appreciation for something as opposed to like despairing about the current state of the thing when the current state of the thing is fine. And like it's not just like Japanese RPGs. There's a ton of turn-based RPGs that are inspired by Japanese turn-based RPGs. Like if you want to make that distinction, that have been coming out outside of Japan for the last decade as well. Like the genre is thriving. Like the genre is like one of the most popular genres ever. Like we literally did everybody forget? Because here's the thing, right? The thing that frustrates me is that people don't view Western RPGs that are turn-based as turn-based RPGs, right? And that's the part that really like fucking bothers me, because it's like what they're really saying, what a lot of these people are really saying is finally a Western RPG that reminds me of the turn-based RPGs that I used to play. And it's like, those exist. The indie scene is full of them. Go play one.
Yeah, but GC, they wouldn't have their high fidelity, hyper realistic graphics and their sad, in pain 30-year-old white protagonist.
Did we forget that Baldur's Gate 3 is a turn-based RPG? Like, one of the best-selling fucking games in the last, like, what, 3-4 years is a turn-based RPG. What is anyone talking about? Like, I'm getting like more animated than I actually feel, because like, I think it's funny.
It's an insane conversation, right? Like, oh God, what fucking bothers me about this is like the way that people are treating it, in terms of like, again, we talked about this like fucking privately, but I feel like this is important to bring up regarding like
Go for it.
the way people are talking about this game, in relation to it, quote unquote, revitalizing the genre, and it being a dark and adult, turn-based RPG. So therefore, but I think a lot of it has to do with its visuals actually, because there are people that will not touch turn-based RPGs because they have anime visuals, because of some internal or external bias they have against something that looks Japanese.
Yes.
For example, I think if Square Enix released a turn-based RPG that had anime visuals or was even slightly realistic, I don't think people would respond as strongly to it, even if it was fucking phenomenal, because it looks distinctly Japanese in a way. And I think people really need to unpack that, because in some cases I do think this is racism and xenophobia. Like, what people want is they want their white, grizzled, 30-year-old protagonist in something that feels Japanese but isn't Japanese. And I don't know. It's really weird. Like, the more I think about this game and I think about the genuine lack of people of color in it, who the main character is, what his story is, he could basically just be like your average white action game protagonist from like the 2010s, except he's in a fantasy land and he's dressed like a member of the Kingsglaive from Final Fantasy 15. Like,
I always forget.
if you
You made that comparison before, and I always forget about it. And every time you bring it back up, I'm like, "You're right. It is the Kingsglaive uniform."
They even have like the leg brace.
Yeah, and
like, you're
it's
not
like gold,
fooling
black, and
anybody.
gold. Yeah,
yeah, you're literally not fooling anybody. But like,
Not
why
exactly.
did you take that visual design and not something inspired by French culture?
Not exactly like 1-to-1, but I was like I think it was a Friday ago or something, and everyone was playing it, and they were like telling me about it, and I'm like, why is this giving Type 0 to me?
Oh my You know what, Cullen, you're right, and you're objectively correct, and no one can fight you on that ever.
And like immediately I just started downloading Type 0 again. I think the thing that's the most wild thing about this is that I have literally no opinion on this game because I don't have time to play it. Like, if it did not come out on the exact same day as 100 Line, I would be here with everyone else having like takes, but I'm just like, I'll get to it.
yeah.
It's going to be great to play this game once the dust settles, after I'm beaten and bruised and bloody from 100 Line, and I could just play this game as just another cool RPG that came out.
Yeah. I want to say, like, it's not that it's nothing special. It's not that it's not like good, in my opinion. I just think like they were trying to add to the existing thriving genre of turn-based RPGs. And I think they succeeded. The game has some issues for me, but I think they succeeded doing that. I think they've carved out a nice little space for themselves. But like, I really wish people would stop treating every successful turn-based RPG that does well proportionately to how much it costs and like the scope and like its market. I really wish people would stop using that as a way to be like, RPGs are back, baby. They've always been back. They have never not been back. They have stood they're never going anywhere. You're never going to run out of turn-based RPGs. You're never going to have a stagnation of RPGs. Someone out there is making an RPG right now with smell-o-vision. Like, it's all going to happen. Please stop. I don't know. Just
Chill out.
Chill. I guess so. Yeah. Like,
Enjoy
I guess
your game.
just chill.
It's nice to enjoy games. Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Celebrate them, praise them for their work, whatever. But like, do not feed into this like deification or worship just because you feel that people make fun of you because you play turn-based RPGs. I'm sorry. I know I'm assuming, but like,
no, just fucking grow up. I'm going to be honest. Grow up if that's you. If that's you, fucking grow up.
I promise you, no one cares that you play turn-based RPGs. No one wants turn-based RPGs to disappear. If there is someone like that, you already disregard their opinion for like 30 other reasons, probably. Like,
exactly.
It's such a small group of people who don't like turn-based RPGs. Anyway, you know.
So I was playing Diablo 4.
Oh yeah, how's the new season?
Sorry, not to segue into Diablo 4, but speaking of like middling games, Diablo 4 hasn't.
Damn, that's where we at now?
Yeah, we're at middling games before I talk about Terrence Malick films and the dreamlike ethereal quality of the new world.
Now, I'm curious. Was it Diablo 4 got bad, or is the game stayed as is and now you think it's bad?
So Diablo 4, GC can probably agree with me on this, has undergone a lot of changes.
The game is fun to play, but also, you know, the story has a lot of issues. Like, it's one of those things where
baby Jesus, speaking of the Jesus allegory that we had talked about.
It's like, I know what you're trying to do. I know, but like, this is so not working for me. And like, also they took away my build, so they patched it.
No, it's back. It's back this season if you want to play.
He's back in.
Do you own the game, Cullen, or no?
I do.
You do? Do you have the expansion?
I don't.
Okay, I'm gonna change that. Anyways,
I would say might not be worth it because
not right now.
I got 100 billion more hours of 100 line to play.
Okay, well, you know.
I would love to play another game. You don't understand.
Yeah,
you don't understand how much I'd like to play anything else.
Yeah.
Help!
You're stuck.
Help!
You're stuck. But yeah, basically, I've been playing some Diablo 4. Every like 60 days or so, they release a new season. The new season has unique mechanics and basically readjust classes. This season, you kill bosses and you can take their boss powers and activate them using specific skills or have them as passives, which is super cool. So, for example, I dodge and then I shoot laser beams when I dodge, which is, in theory, really fucking sick, but upgrading those powers can be kind of a chore. They've also retooled the way bosses work to some degree. Things are a lot harder now, more challenging, and I feel like the game has it goes through these periods where it's like really fun to play because it's really fast and frenetic, kind of like Diablo 3, and then it slows down again, and it's sort of like walking through molasses until you get everything you want, and then by the time you get there, you're like, okay, I'm done, which is just sort of an issue Diablo 4 has had for me for a while. Some people think it's too fast, some people think it's too slow. I'm in the camp that thinks it's a little too slow. But here I am playing it and really enjoying a Dance of Knives rogue build, which is just me running around, spinning, and throwing out knives. And it's super fun. The story for this season is not that good. Basically, each season also has its own story content. And for some reason, they're choosing to have a very, very major character in the Diablo series, a boss for this season, and not dedicate an expansion to him, which really worries me because, Cullen, you cannot go back and play older seasonal content stories.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, so every season has its own story,
what?
but you cannot go back and play the old season story. So if you miss a season, you miss out on that story.
Wow, we're speedrunning Destiny already?
Yeah.
This game's been out for what, like a year?
2 years. Yes. So it's just kind of like, I don't know. I'm having fun with it, but the fact that GC, you played Diablo 2, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Do you remember who Belial is? He's like one of the primevals.
Belial, yeah.
He is a boss in this season, not expansion, this season.
Oh.
Yeah.
But that means he's gonna go away.
Who knows?
See,
yeah,
man,
I don't know.
You can't add like seasonal if you're gonna do live service, right? Seasonal content, it's gotta be like secondary and tertiary like stuff, like maybe like a fun game mode that you might bring back if people like it, and like an expansion and make it like evergreen or some of that. But like actual like a major character like content, I don't know.
Cullen, you don't know this, but Belial is one of the most important characters in the entire Diablo universe. He's one of the, what is it, 4 primevals?
Yes,
no,
he's
3
one of the
primevals.
He's one of the big bad bosses.
Big bad?
Yeah. So basically there are 3 primevals. There's Diablo,
Belial,
Mephisto, and Belial.
Yeah.
They should rename the game Mephisto for April.
Yeah, that would be funny.
Mephisto 4.
Yeah. And you would think each of these like devils would basically be an expansion boss, which would make a lot of sense, right? Like,
Yeah.
we kill Mephisto, then we end up taking 6 years to fight Belial. Like, to me, it seems like a smart business practice too, right? Because
Yeah.
I know they want to keep developing stuff for Diablo 3 for a while. This just makes me think that they're going to release one more expansion, then go to like Diablo 5 or something.
Yeah.
Which
I think they see
yeah.
the writing on the wall about live service stuff, so hopefully the next one will not be as aggressively that, but I don't know.
Yes. Because there are a couple unannounced projects at Blizzard, I think, that like everybody knows about in terms of being unannounced or whatever.
The open secrets.
Yeah. So I don't know. Diablo 4, I'm having a lot of fun. I know it's not good. I'm still enjoying it. And it's kind of the only game I really wanted to play because when I was in Germany, I wasn't playing a lot of games. I was mostly reading and writing and watching movies. I go to a coffee shop in the morning and have a croissant and a coffee,
Jealous.
or I take a train and
What kind of coffee?
go to like a wildlife park where they have like basically fawns just walking around and they eat out of your hand. And
I don't care about wildlife. Back up a little bit. What kind of coffee?
okay, so I would have a dirty chai latte in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Or I would have
Describe it.
It was at a plate. It was like at a Turkish cafe, so the coffee was really good.
Oh yeah.
They also had a matcha vanilla strawberry latte that was really
Sorry,
delicious.
I just drooled all over myself. Oh my god, yeah.
And then I had a croissant stuffed with pistachio cream.
Oh.
Or I had.
Hold on, I gotta clean up.
So this Dubai chocolate shit, I actually had it. It was not all that impressive, but I have been wanting to have Dubai chocolate for like 6 months. I've been dreaming about this. Finally had it in Germany. I was like, this is fine. But there was a Greek cafe I went to that was serving Dubai chocolate cheesecake, and it was the best thing I've ever fucking eaten in my life.
I will say, because I've also tried the Dubai chocolate thing, it is a coin flip if it's actually good or not. And that's like in America of all things. So yeah, but you know, sometimes you just find that right place that just knows how to make this shit. And it's just, oh God. I am so like, I want to go to Europe just to drink coffee and like eat pastries.
Europe
That's literally
so
it.
Nice. Traveling around Spain was a really fun time.
I've never left the country. Sounds fun.
You should leave the country at some point.
It's really fun.
I should escape. I should leave the country.
Escape from the city.
I should. But anyway, you were talking about some like lame like birds or something in the wildlife, whatever.
Oh no, it wasn't birds. It was. I mean, they did have birds and stuff. What's really interesting is that Dusseldorf actually has a green parrot population because some parrots got free in an atrium, and now there's like green parrots in Germany, which is fascinating.
Classic invasive species story.
Yeah, but it was just like so Germany has free wildlife parks in which you can see things like wild boar, different kinds of deer, some foxes, raccoons, things like that. And even wild cats, like literal wild cats. There's this area that was like sectioned off, and there were just deer walking around, just little baby deer walking around, and they'd come up and they'd like Nara. It was basically Nara, but it's in Germany.
I love that.
And you would just give them apples, and they'd just be like, "Oh, I love you so much.
Thank you for nourishment."
In America, we only have free Wi-Fi parks.
Do you want to know something scary about deer?
What?
They are circumstantial herbivores.
Oh.
Which means a deer will 100% eat meat if it ain't got nothing else to eat. And it can. And it will.
Oh, I love that for deer. Thank you, deer. When I die, please feed me to deer.
A deer will hunt down a fucking
GC,
rabbit if it's hungry enough.
Only learned this by chucking rabbits at deers.
No, I was watching animal videos on YouTube where I was learning about them.
Oh. Yes. I see. It was a moment of having bipolar disorder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry. Me too.
I want to learn about animals.
Jesus, like, I want to see animals die.
No.
You can find that on YouTube, by the way.
Funny
Never
video
accidentally
about a gorilla.
wander into dead animal part of YouTube. There's so much. There's just so much. It's so fucked.
Ooh, elephants never forget is like a real thing. Oh, they will get revenge on people. Interesting.
Good for the elephant, honestly. Good for the fucking elephant.
Yeah.
But yeah, the reason I sound kind of exhausted by the way, listeners, is because I was on a plane for like 16 hours and my body's still recovering. I go to bed at 8 like an old man and I wake up at 4. But I will say those 16-hour flights let you watch a lot of movies that you may never have watched. I'll list off some of the movies I watched. I'd never seen Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of London, and I know that was a hit. Watched it; it was not good.
No.
I rewatched the Nora, and they had that on the flight to Germany, not coming back. They actually have different flights because I guess different rating laws or whatever. They're just like, please don't watch the story about the sad sex worker on the way back to America. I watched all 3 Lord of the Rings movies.
Excellent.
Yes, and they were the extended edition, so that fucking cut a lot of time. Coming back, I ended up watching the Lord of the Rings movies again.
Oh, hell yeah.
And then I watched The New World. It's a Terrence Malick film. It came out in 2005, and I have been literally waiting 20 years to watch the full version of the movie, and it's impossible to find if you don't buy the Criterion Collection version of it that has all 3 different releases of it, including the full release. And they had it on the fucking plane coming back from Germany.
Incredible. How was it?
It was, oh my God, it was so good. The New World it's another interpretation of like John Smith and John Rolfe's relationship with like Pocahontas, but it's basically told through diary narrations over like random shots of like they literally went to Virginia to shoot there.
And they saw me. I said, hi.
Yeah, you're like, hi. And they also reconstructed the specific dialect the Native Americans spoke during that time for the actors to speak. It just reminded me of like the craft that used to go into movies that we would regularly see in cinemas, right?
Oh, yeah.
And Colin, you can talk about Sinners after this, honestly.
Yeah.
But seeing things filmed on location was just really beautiful, and it had this sort of like dreamlike ethereal quality as Colin Farrell, who's like John Smith, is talking about like how beautiful the land is and everything, or how the actress, who is an indigenous actress for Pocahontas, was like sort of like, mother, where are you, and like talking about her own mother and her relationship to like the earth and everything, and then her eventual child. Christian Bale is John Rolfe, and he's kind of like barely in the movie, but he's just like, I love you, and she's like, I don't really love you though. And it's all very like interesting because most of it is told through the physicality of performances and various snapshots of these environments. It's really hard to find the full film online. I've never seen it because it just wasn't, but I think it is a very beautiful film, and it's just like there's a lot of emotion there. And then I decided to chase that with Spider-Man No Way Home, and I turned it off in like 30 minutes because I was like, I can't watch this. Like
this is
yeah.
That's like having like a beautiful, rich piece of like filet mignon, and then you put a McDonald's fry in your mouth, and you're like, fuck this.
It's just, and you could, it's just like, you
don't
can
spoil
just tell
it,
how
please,
much of
because
that,
like. Because I haven't watched them, and I'm a big fan of Spider-Man movies.
No, I won't spoil it. I won't spoil it. I'll just say that the only two actors in that movie are Willem Dafoe and the guy who plays Otto Octavius, and everyone else is just super wooden. So much of it is just CGI backgrounds and just sets. And it's really fun. GC, we can watch it together if you want. I'd be down to watch it again because I really like Doctor Strange. And he's
I gotta watch the first one, Far From Home.
I would really want to watch Far From Home.
The second one. I gotta watch Far From Home, and then
I actually liked Far From Home a lot.
We should watch the Spider-Man movies together.
The Tom Holland ones? I'd be down to watch them again.
Yeah.
Let's watch all the Spider-Man movies together. You know, let's just watch Amazing Spider-Man. Fuck the rest of them.
I actually wanted to do that.
Yeah.
I wanted to watch Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans, and then I wanted to watch the Amazing Spider-Man movies because I hear those are bad and I haven't seen them yet. I've seen like a bit of
me.
I've seen it.
He hates me.
He hates me. I wanted to watch. I've seen a little bit of the one with Electro in it.
Did you know that the composer for New World, I think, also composed the first Amazing Spider-Man and then left the production because he was like, you want me to make dog shit music for this? I'm out. And then Hans Zimmer came in.
And they were like, we got to get the biggest dog shit music aficionado in the whole planet. Oh, Hans, you already here? It's like, I heard I was needed. And they're like, all right, get in here, get some poo-poo garbage. It's like, is
$300 for my masterclass.
Like, that's even better, yeah. And then they made the biggest pile of shit ever. Fuck you, Hans Zimmer.
But yeah, I would love to watch all of the Spider-Man movies. And then I would like...
Three's my favorite.
And then I will avoid Madam Web. I'm not watching that.
Not allowed.
Although I do want to watch the Venom ones.
I
do want to watch Venom.
Just Madam Web.
Yeah, we're only doing Madam Web.
Damn.
And then I'll shot chaser it with like the scene where Kraven the Hunter wrestles a snow leopard in front of his love interest, and then says, "I raised this snow leopard from a baby," and you're totally just like, "What the fuck is going on?" Anyways,
that would work. That would rizz me up.
You know
properly.
what my favorite line from Kraven is?
What? Wait, did you actually watch it?
No.
Oh my god, because I was like, GC, if you fucking watched it, oh my god. But no, yeah, watching Spider-Man after watching The New World, I was like, so much of this is CGI and no one is actually acting. Like, it feels like they're not acting. Like, they're coming there to
read their lines,
emulate
get
acting.
Yes.
Yeah. Because it's the quality between the first wave of MCU films, like, for example, I can let the campiness of Captain America, the First Avenger slide because it is supposed to be sort of like this, like,
unapologetically cape shit.
Yeah, exactly, right? And I really liked Captain America and the Winter Soldier. That was like my favorite of that specific era, and I think Ant-Man as well. Yeah, I thought Ant-Man was fun.
Ant-Man was good.
But like just watching how the MCU had sort of like these really unique identities among each of the original like phase 1 films, and then slowly get siphoned off into what is just sort of like a clear formula.
Goopy Dob shit.
Yeah, and it's not good. Oh my god.
Joss Whedon ruined the Marvel movies.
Yeah. And then the Russo brothers decided to take an axe and drag it outside and fucking hit it until it fucking died.
I don't think either of the Joss Whedon Avengers movies are good.
I don't like them.
They're both just bad.
Like, I don't like
two of them, right?
Yeah, the first one and the second one.
Okay.
I honestly think I think Endgame is the most fun I've had with an Avengers movie, but that's just because they're like, fuck it, time heist, dumb bullshit, and I was like, oh, stuff's happening.
Oh, comic books.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is flavor. You put salt on it. I was missing seasoning.
You don't understand. You don't understand. We're basically retelling Civil War. Oh, you mean one of the most overrated arcs in Marvel comic book history?
And it's not even Civil War. It's not. They just call it Civil War because like Captain America won't turn over his boyfriend to the police.
It's such a fucking boring. Oh, we gotta register superhero. Oh, we don't gotta register. We're gonna fight about it.
No, we're mad. Oh, Tony, I don't like what you.
It's so because like I was like, oh, they're adapting Civil War, so they're gonna talk about like that whole superhero identity act or whatever.
Yeah.
No, it's literally just like you need to give us Bucky. No, I don't want to give you Bucky. I'm not.
We're gonna put Wanda in jail if you don't do it. You
Listen,
won't.
We borrowed Spider-Man from Sony. You gotta do it. We paid a lot of money for this.
The best part about Civil War is that in the first like Tom Holland Spider-Man, they just they give you the vlog perspective of Spider-Man during all that dumb bullshit.
It's funny.
And it's so endearing and funny. And then it's just like, wow, I wish I had seen that movie.
I will say the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies always have those segments and they're always so fucking funny. Like, what is it, the second one? And like all the people come back from the snap and like, it's so fucking funny. Oh my God.
Like I know a lot of people hate those movies. And honestly, it's just like, I think it's just for me, it's like, but there's like something here. There's like any amount of spark at all that I don't really get from the other MCU movies, where it's just like, yeah, I'm not the biggest, like I'm not as in the know as many Spider-Man guys, but I just I watch those movies and I have fun.
Guess what?
Yeah. What?
Guess what? One of the most iconic things about Spider-Man is in the comic books. He has a
Oh.
sense of
Silly.
humor. There's like a levity to it. You can do really deep, serious drama with him. But like at the end of the day, he is going to nervously like wisecrack his way through it because that is his coping mechanism. But that's fun and, you know, real and like, you know, human. It's great.
See, I thought it was him being poor, which isn't really a thing in
It's also
the
good.
Tom Holland Spider-Man movies.
That
but-
is the
No.
one thing.
yeah.
They
That
kind
is
of
the
like
one
I'm a
thing.
that
Sam
aspect of him.
Raimi. I'm a Sam Raimi Spider-Man liker, but I like Spider-Man 1 and 2, and then I just really didn't care for 3. And
I
then
love
Jake
3.
Jake likes Amazing Spider. Oh my God, Cullen did. Okay. Jake loves Amazing Spider-Man. When I first came to Germany, I walked into like his gaming room and there were posters of like the Amazing Spider-Man all over his wall, and I was like Spider-Man, huh? And he was like, yeah, I love Spider-Man. So, yeah.
I think Spider-Man is the coolest.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the whole thought. I love him.
Yeah. You should play
Yeah.
you should play Spider-Man 2.
The game? I
Like
did.
Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions or whatever.
I did. It's
I
my
think
favorite
yeah, he
Spider-Man
has.
game.
Oh,
I want to see you play Spider-Man 2 just to see what you'd think.
Shattered Dimensions is one of the best Spider-Man games they've ever made. I never played the sequel, but I wanted to. They should have let that company continue making Spider-Man games because they understood a lot about Spider-Man. You got to play as Ultimate Spider-Man in Shattered Dimensions, and I fucking hate that era of Ultimate Spider-Man. The new Ultimate Spider-Man I hear is pretty good because like they let him be old, which is great. Ultimate Spider-Man in the current run, I believe, is like he's got like gray hair and he's got like a big beard and he's got like
what
a
about
family.
Miguel O'Hara?
Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099, he's the best. I love Miguel O'Hara. He's
Is he in
awesome.
that?
In Shattered Dimensions, yeah.
Yeah.
He's in Shattered Dimensions and
Oh.
he's voiced by the original actor who voiced Spider-Man in the 1960 Spider-Man cartoon.
Oh,
That's cool.
Yeah. Every actor that plays a Spider-Man in Shattered Dimensions is an actor who voiced Spider-Man in one of its cartoons.
That's
and-
fucking sick.
The voice of Tidus, who also voiced the Spider-Man, is also in the game, just not as a Spider-Man.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow, Spider-Man.
Spider.
Speaking
Spider.
of, well, I guess going from good cinema. Well, sorry, so going from good cinema to bad cinema back to good cinema. Talk about Sinners, Colin. Talk about some vampires.
So I did my white leftist duty. And
I didn't
I
go
went-
watch Sinners. I sat down and I listened.
I sat my white ass down and I listened.
Me fucking military saluting Cullen in the background.
I funny enough, I've seen Sinners twice. The
Oh.
first time,
Sick.
because like on Sunday, my mom messaged me and was like, hey, because we had to cancel like our plans on Saturday. She was like, hey, but do you want to come up like an hour to, you know, see me? And we could just, me and you, go see Sinners together. And I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, sure. I want to go see Sinners for free. I would like, that's a movie I kind of wanted to see, and everyone's saying it's great. I'd go take the mom debuff just to go see Sinners.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I went to go see Sinners with my mom. My mom is very funny. She made us sit at the very middle row at the far right side of the theater, which is about as worse as you could possibly get unless you were literally at the front looking up the entire time.
Yeah.
I asked her about, I was like, why did you get these seats? And she was just like, I mean, you never know.
Your mom is a mysterious woman.
You never know what could happen.
You know
We
what?
gotta be-
Honestly, your mom's
we gotta
real for
be-
that because that's why I don't go to movie theaters.
We got to be ready.
I'm
at a
also
moment's
claustrophobic,
notice.
but yeah.
We got to be ready to leave immediately and escape. And I'm just like, I could die in a movie theater. I want to see it nice. I want to
but
enjoy
hold on.
my movie experience.
If that's your
If I
worry,
could
then you should be
die-
sitting next to the emergency exit, not next to the
No.
fucking stairs.
No, I wanted. I am the kind of person who I sit at the very back in the middle because I want the best seat in the house. I want that movie to be playing for me and me alone. But anyway, so I went into Sinners basically only knowing vampire movie taking place 1930, and I saw like a trailer and I thought it looked cool.
Okay.
And then I heard from everyone like watching is like, this is one of the best movies you'll see all year. And it's one of those recommendations that always perks my interest, because what people were saying is look up nothing about it and just go see it. And I always giggle and I go, yes, good. I love doing that. So I went to see it. I think it will be a movie of the year lock for me, if only because I don't think there's like, I've seen like the movies coming out from now until the end of the year and they all look like dumb. Like there might be one or two that I like missed, but like, you know, it's the usual Hollywood slop. This was a movie. Like,
Whoa.
You guys remember when they made movies?
Yeah, I do.
Like, this is a movie. It's so hard to talk about, like what this movie is, because I don't want to, like, I genuinely think that you guys should go see this. Like when it comes to like, because I think
Isn't it
it's
scary?
No, it's not. It's more
No.
like a suspense film.
Yeah, it's a suspense action film. Like there are vampires in the movie, but it's like, you know, it's like how in the 90s, like vampire movies would just be about like killing vampires. I don't think it's a scary movie. There are some jump scares, but it's not like it's like a woo. But like at its core, it's there's so much more going on with this film than just like, oh, there are vampires and they're fucked up and scary. Like there's just a lot of really good, all the shots are really good. The music is amazing.
Well, the
Like-
director is apparently like phenomenal.
Oh yeah, he's
Ryan
I haven't
Coogler or whatever.
Kugler, I think.
Coogler,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah,
He did like the Creed
Yeah, he did Creed 1.
movies. Yeah.
And I think the only movie I've seen of his is Black Panther 1, and like you can see through all of the like Marvel meddling, the like really cool movie that is, like under all the like parts where you can clearly tell the executives kind of went in and like fiddled around.
You gotta do this. You gotta do that.
Yeah, so you gotta say the CIA is really cool, man. You gotta.
We gotta apologize.
Military is really nice. They're paying us, man.
My son's in the CIA. We can't badmouth his job.
We literally are funded by the American military. You gotta
Put in an oorah in there, brother.
But like it's just a really good like character driven story with fun ass characters going through this movie, and like emotionally, like I wouldn't say like the movie brought me to tears or anything, but when it wants to hit, it hits hard. Like they are really good at telling a goddamn story with this movie. And it's like, again, I don't want to say too much. Like I genuinely think you guys should just see the movie. It's a good movie. Both times I walked out and I went, wow, that's a good ass movie. I couldn't think of any issues. I had a really good time both times. And there's one scene in particular, I think a lot of people are talking about it very vaguely, that like it feels like it steps out of itself for a second. And it's one of the coolest things I have seen in a really long time, like in a film. Like there's so many movies out there. We don't really get as many films anymore. And I know that might sound pretentious, but like it's kind of true.
We call them what is the distinction? The distinction is like you have movies that are made to cater to an audience. Like you have like fandom movies, right? Like you have movies that are like, because that's a problem with a lot of modern movie stuff, right? Is like it's just all existing IP. Like there are no original ideas, right? And that's like a huge problem right now in the film industry.
Marvel shit.
Yeah. It's the Marvelification of like media.
And this year it's all Star Wars anniversary shit too.
Ugh, it's awful. So
Revenge of the Sith.
So like film is like, at this point, like a film is like anything that's just not a film now is like, the distinction is like an original idea, not even like an original IP, not like something you make with the expectation that I'm going to make like 6 of these, like just like an idea for a thing.
So just to hammer this in, I just went to the IMAX like webpage that's coming soon to IMAX theaters. How to Train Your Dragon live action. Superman, The Fantastic Four, and Tron.
Yeah, it's like now. Don't get me wrong. Like the James Gunn Superman movie,
Probably gonna be fine.
the track record of James Gunn making good superhero movies is pretty good. So like it'll be a good movie, but like like the problem is like it's just that, right? Like it's just stuff like this that's in the theaters now.
I'm even looking into, okay, so May and June is Thunderbolts, Final Destination, Mission Impossible, and How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
Superman, Fantastic Four, Demon Slayer.
Yeah. There's very few original ideas and originality in like stuff. And like you could argue it's like, well, they're bringing that into like existing IPs, and it's like they're doing that out of like necessity. Like they need to work. So, the talented people.
Safe slop.
Huh?
It's slop. It's safe slop.
Yeah, and it's like you have people trying to do original things in those like IPs, but like, I'm sure they would much rather like make a movie about a thing that they want to make that's not fucking Marvel or Minecraft or
and you could be like, oh well, this is another like vampire movie. How original is that? It's like it's so much like more. And also it's like with a lot of these like modern like movies, all the crap we usually get now, most of it just feels very phoned in. Like like they're bloated budgets, but like you can't really see where that went into the movie itself.
Embezzlement.
Well, yeah. But there's so much that just feels like soulless. So with so many movies nowadays, it really feels like the people making the movie did not enjoy this, like what they made, or you don't really get a sense that like it's made by people who really love the craft. Yeah. Whereas like every fucking shot in Sinners is like fucking incredible. And there's so much brilliant use of like color, and like they use like really like long tracking shots when it's like for like really cool effect, like a lot of really cool one takes. It's such a like just such a craft. There's so much craft. It's so much passion. And also fucking big shout out, like the lead actor of the movie,
Michael B. Jordan.
Well, no, so I guess he's billed on it, but the actual protagonist of the movie is a first time like film actor. They even say like introducing Miles Caton, I believe it's called.
Okay.
Incredible. In like the fact that he's playing a role, like an acting role where he also has to sing and like play guitar, and like who knows if he actually did that. I don't know. Maybe that's overly optimistic, but like it fucking felt real.
Chances are he did, because that's
chances
part of
are it
acting
did.
Training for
like there's a
stuff.
lot of stuff that like this guy had to do for this film, and what a fucking amazing first movie to be in. Like that you see something like this and go like, this guy is going to be in a lot more stuff. This guy's going to be a star.
Great first hit.
It's just, oh my God. Whoa, I miss movies. Like it's so fucking cool. And like, it's one of those movies that like has a lot to say for itself, is genuinely fun to watch if you just want to like watch like a fun action movie. And it's got it all. It really does.
Excellent stuff.
If you're going to see like a big like action movie this year, it should be this one. As soon as it hits streaming, watch the movie. It's a good time.
I think I will.
Yeah, I know Jake really wants to watch it, so we're probably going to watch it together.
Yeah. Oh, but you know what? John Wick 5 might come out in between then. I got to watch that instead.
Yeah. Sorry. Actually, I just saw that Thunderbolts is coming out in a few days.
Yeah, you should watch Thunderbolts.
I saw the trailer for that because the Punisher's not in there, and I'm pissed.
I saw the trailer for it, and I saw them making the quirky Chungus jokes with each other. And then they have the guy to be like, we are the Thunderbolts. And everyone goes, oh, that's so cringe and gay. And everyone goes, oh, we think comic books are dumb. And they all laugh.
What really blows my mind about that film is that they have people, like significant people that worked on Beef and Everything Everywhere All at Once. I was talking to Matthew in the Discord about the shout out to Matthew, listen to the podcast. That Marvel does this thing where they hire like people of color who have made successful films or television, and then they bill them on a movie and fucking set them up to fail every time. The Eternals, now it's gonna be Thunderbolts. Like,
Yeah, it
come
literally
on.
looks the same, by the way. Like, when I saw the Thunderbolts thing, I was like, why are they re-releasing trailers for the Eternals? And I was like, oh, it's a different thing? Oh. I was like, oh.
I will say,
Yeah.
this is such a low bar. Thunderbolts looks better than the last like 2 years of Marvel movies, but that's not saying much.
No.
Well, apparently
like-
it's an examination on grief and trauma, and I'm like, you can say that about
Fuck
anything
off.
these days, buddy. I'm not taking you seriously.
Look, you're just you put Bucky in that movie to get me to go see it. That's
Literally.
Just be honest.
Yeah.
I will watch it because Bucky is in it. That's it.
Or you
I'm
can
not
just go play
expecting-
Marvel Rivals for free.
Or just rewatch Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Now
Like,
that's what I
free.
want to do. Now that's what I want to do. No, that's the thing though. I'm not gonna go see Thunderbolts in theaters. I saw Sinners. I saw my movie. I'm gonna continue doing my thing, and I'll watch like anime movies that come to the big screen after years of watching them on DVD. That's how I'm gonna spend the rest of my year. I think Tim Robinson has a new like comedy coming out with fucking what's that guy? Ant-Man. Who's the Ant-Man guy?
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd. He's doing a movie with
like
Paul Rudd. That's maybe interesting. I might go see that. And then there's a Lupin the Third movie that might come to American theaters this year. And then I'm good. I don't need anything else.
I only watch movies from like 2005, so I guess the next movie I'm gonna watch is Troy. So
That's sick.
yeah,
You're not going to go see a bunch of actors play a group of anti-heroes caught in a deadly trap and forced to work together on a dangerous mission?
No, I'll go watch the Game of Thrones guys' interpretation of the Trojan War, which is also not very good. But
you don't want to see...
was filmed like on like in a location, and all of the extras for that movie. And I think at the time, it actually had the most amount of extras in an entire film, and they were all from Greece.
Yeah, but like you could watch instead Marvel's Suicide Squad. What are we, some kind of Thunderbolts?
Jake, okay, that's first of all, that's the title of the episode, and Cullen, you're gonna be
Duly
knockoff
noted.
Black Widow.
Oh, what? I can't.
Yeah.
I was gonna have Jake draw me as Darumi 100 line.
Oh man, no, this is a good episode. This is a really fucking good episode.
I have. Oh,
yeah.
GC, did you have anything else? Because
Well-
there's one last topic I wanted to bring up before we get into questions. But if you have anything,
No, that's perfect. Actually, I was gonna say we should go into questions. So, bring up what you're gonna bring up.
So, in the last 2 weeks, a bit of a cultural moment happened.
Yeah. Oh, the Switch.
Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders.
Oh yeah. Did you get yours? Like, did you get it physically?
How
Is it
many
yours?
pre-orders do you have, Colin?
How many pre-orders do you have, GC?
I have 2 pre-orders.
You got 2 pre-orders?
Oh,
I have 3 pre-orders.
that's a lot.
It's a lot indeed.
Oh,
Oh.
oh.
So GC and I both did the online midnight pre-order fiasco of you know what? I missed it. I missed the energy. I missed the like manic
excitement.
vibes, the excitement, the 3 hours of just fucking smashing on purchase buttons and sites breaking, and oh, it was amazing. I think GC was telling me, like, he's like, I'm going to pick one site and I'm going to look at it and I'm just going to wait and I'm going to be patient. And I was there with my Oracle cave of my 3 monitors where I got Walmart, Target, and Best Buy, one on each. And I was just like sitting there with my fucking beverage and I was like studying the numbers and I was waiting. So at midnight, the ones that popped up first were Target and Walmart. Walmart was basically gone I know people who got Walmart ones. They were a shit show, so I stopped bothering.
That one was weird. I'll talk about that later.
Well, I mean, we probably had the same experience where they had a big dumb button that they made you hold 1 billion times with.
Oh, no,
like,
you're thinking
clicking.
of Target.
No. Walmart. Walmart had the big dumb button.
Oh, okay. I didn't do that.
No, Walmart had like a fake line. Target was like, try to buy it. Try.
You won't.
I don't know, man.
Do it. You won't.
Do it. Add it to your cart. See if it happens. Fucking you won't. And I tried. Target was really weird for me. So my plan was, because there's 2 Switch 2s that went up. It was the like the default one by itself, no games, whatever. And then there was the Mario Kart bundle. So through the grapevine, I had kind of heard that what they kind of did was they stocked way more of the Mario Kart bundle and less of the Switch by itself.
Oh.
But in my mind, I was like, okay, hold on. But that means the demand for the bundle is going to be really high. So less people are going to try to get the system by itself. So that was what I was trying to get, because I figured that was the best way I could like guarantee I would get one. So right away, what I was trying to do was a normal like Switch 2 by itself. I was just trying to like add it to my cart and buy it at Target. Because Best Buy took like 30 minutes for them to go up, probably because they waited, assholes.
100% they waited for things to sell out elsewhere to open their thing.
Smart though, I will say, smart. So they, I get the normal one in my cart, and I'm just sitting there on my phone because I went into the app just to try to get one, just hitting the buy button as it would be like, try again later. Your cart is fucked. Bro, your shit's fucked. You're cooked. You're not getting one. Lol. Type in your fucking credit card again. Lol. And I was like, and then eventually it kicked me out entirely. And it was just like, your cart is gone now. No more cart. I was like, fuck. And then eventually people were like, oh, the normal, like one, like the bundle is back. And then I try to add the bundle, and I spend like 20 minutes basically mashing the button again and again and again and again, just to try to get one. And eventually I got one. I got the bundle from Target. I was like, fuck, fine. Okay, cool. Great. And I was like, oh, wait, but I'm like panicked now because I don't get my email like didn't show up, my confirmation email. Let me go look for that. And I go to my my email, and I'm looking through. I was like, oh, a confirmation email. Wait, why was it 20 minutes ago? And somehow a purchase went through for a pre-order of the normal Switch 2 and then also the bundle.
Oh.
Even though the app didn't tell me because it was imploding. So I got 2 at Target. But, Target's not the move. Target's not the play. No one wants to get a Switch 2 at Target. Let's be real. JC, did you want to get a Switch 2 at Target?
No.
You didn't want to get a Switch 2 at Target.
I forgot.
Well, yes. Okay.
I had forgotten about the thing, but
yes,
we won't talk about the thing. Unless you want to talk about the thing. Yeah.
I have been I have completely stopped shopping there. I know.
I was gonna say that day is the day Target's has made the most money since that boycott began, and then they stopped making money again.
Yep. And like, look, I'm gonna say, I don't blame anyone. Like it.
I completely forgot. Like, I don't blame anybody because like I straight up just did not I didn't realize, like, I completely forgot that was the thing we were doing until somebody pointed it out on Blue Sky, and I was like, oh shit, that's right. Like we were in the middle of that, but I completely forgot because it had been so long since I like
went to a Target.
Yeah. Like it had become like second nature at this point to just not go. And then I just, completely fucking escaped my mind. But yeah,
exactly. But anyway, I was like, so those are going to be my, like, I want those to be my backup. I want Best Buy.
Yeah.
I want Best Buy. And also Best Buy is like the only retailer, I think, doing a midnight launch.
They're also like a lot better about honoring purchases. So,
which is hilarious because my girlfriend got a Best Buy one.
Yeah.
My girlfriend got a Best Buy one and they canceled it on her because of like a card issue.
Yeah.
And they were vague about it. And she was like, so what the fuck? Can I get my pre-order back? Like, my card's fine. And they were like, tee, no.
Nope. So that happened to me when I got my pre-order off Best Buy was when I went to go check out, my bank auto declined the purchase, but it stayed in my cart, and the bank I have sends me a message, and then I can confirm that it was me that was trying to make that purchase, and it goes, okay, just run it again and we'll let it through.
Well, see, for hers, they waited like a week.
Yeah, that's gross.
Which is fucking lame.
That means,
especially because
that means her credit card company or her bank did not actually like fraud check the purchase until a week after it was done.
Oh my god.
That's
It
what
has
that
me
means.
living in fear a little bit, not gonna lie, because like it sucks because we were both gonna go. Like we were both gonna go to the midnight launch and it was gonna be really fun. And now she's like, well, I'll just fucking wait for it. Mine to like the backup one she got to ship. Because my plan, and for people listening and go, oh, this fucker's gonna scalp. I don't believe in it. I think scalpers should die and go to hell no matter what. The reason I immediately thought to like just get as many as I could, because I have a lot of friends locally who really want Switch 2s, and because of the mess, like I had no idea who was going to be able to actually get one. It ended up being a lot of people, but I ended up knowing 2 people who was not able to get a pre-order, and now I'm pretty sure they're just like gone, who like was like, yeah, no, like, can I buy that off of you for like, and I was like, yeah, MSRP, absolutely, I'll sell it to you for what you would get elsewhere, because I want to make sure that my friends are taken care of who want it.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like you get multiple pre-orders, but you're not going to scalp. You're just like, it's for my friends who want one and did not get a pre-order. And it's like, hey, you just want to like buy my pre-order for the, just pay me whatever it costs and then I'll just bring it to you or something.
Yeah. And then what I'm going to do is when the Mario Kart bundle gets in, I'm going to open the box up and I'm going to take that. And I'm going to be like, I'm selling it to you for the price of the normal one, but I'm taking Mario Kart. That's mine.
Mario Kart me.
Yeah. That's my cut. But yeah, I ended up getting one on Best Buy with a bundle with the Pro controller, which is all I wanted. I literally just wanted to get a Best Buy pre-order of this thing so I could go at midnight, get my Switch 2. I took 2 whole days off after work, after release, just from work, so I could just play Switch 2 for like 2 days straight. And yeah, GC, now you are completely free to tell your pre-order story if anything interesting happened on this. But what I'd really like, and I think this is something we can all get in on, is to talk about kind of the stuff that trickled out afterwards, like with game key cards and stuff.
Information about the Switch 2.
So the game key card shit, does anybody remember when Microsoft tried to do the same thing with their Xbox games? And then PlayStation made that PSA where they're like, this is how you share games, hands it over. I was literally taking a shower, running my fingers through my now extremely short hair. I look like a Japanese businessman now for anybody that thinks I still have long hair. I do not. And I was like, wait a second. Microsoft tried this. And everybody clowned on them so hard they reversed it. But nobody's clowned on Nintendo.
No, of course not.
No.
So people are mad. From what I have seen, people are pretty mad about this.
But no one. But Nintendo's not going to reverse it. They're not Microsoft.
No,
they don't
of
have
course
a.
not.
They don't have a.
They don't give a fuck about PR.
They have no sense of shame.
Remember,
you can shame Microsoft.
Now, if no one buys fucking key cards, maybe.
Remember when in like the 2010s, like the early 2010s, it was like, oh my God, Nintendo's in the red. And then someone did the math and was like, yeah, they could be in the red for like the next 25 to 30 years and they still wouldn't be anywhere near bankruptcy. So like, they don't really give a shit that they're in the red that much.
Yeah.
Like bad ideas, bad PR, they don't give a shit. They make fuck you money.
They will always make fuck you money.
Yep.
Too many people love the Mario.
I really, really, really am gonna need to like people to just not buy these goddamn key cards.
Do not
like,
buy the key cards.
Now there might be 1 or 2 that I get on a key card just to see, because like I'm curious, like fucking, and it'll be one of the cheaper games too. Like I might get Bravely on a key card because I was gonna get that digital anyway.
But that's my thing, right? Like, I just don't see a point in buying a physical copy of a game that's not actually a physical copy of a game.
Yeah, it's
like,
weird.
If I have to pick between, but this is what they want. So like, that's the thing, right? It's like the physical key card thing, right? The reason they're doing this is because buying like the proper game key, buying a proper game cartridge, right? Or putting your game out on one of those is expensive, apparently. Like it costs a lot to do that. So Nintendo says, oh, is it expensive to use our cartridges? Okay, here's an alternative. But what this ends up doing is people are going, the studios and the publishers that are putting games on the Nintendo Switch, right? On the Switch 2, they're going to have an option. It's like, well, we can't do physical, so we can do game key cards or digital. But what the consumer is going to see is it doesn't matter, right? Like, I don't want a key card because it's the same thing. So I'm just going to get it digitally. Why am I going to go out of my way to ship something or go pick something up and like that's going to take time when it's ostensibly the same thing. Like I still have to download the game. Like it's not actually on the cart. So what this does is increase digital sales that Nintendo and publishers, if they're in on the idea, is, well, no one's buying physical anymore. So we're just going to stop selling physical games. And all this really does is just push the market further into an exclusively digital thing. And it's just a roundabout way, or like a very subtle way, or like a very like underhanded way of pushing the industry further into the digital markets and removing physical media from being an option for consumers. Because yeah, obviously I'm not going to get a key card. I'm going to go get digital, which means on paper, on the numbers, they're going to point at it and go, oh, look, see, people have stopped buying physical media, and physical media is expensive to make. So we're going to stop making physical media. And that's what that's for. That is what I think that is for.
It's frustrating because like, I really wish, like when they announced key cards, it was something that I think a lot of people were like, oh, this is a replacement for like physical releases that are just a code in a box, which by the way, some are still going to do that on Switch too.
Do you know
like
what do you know what the solution to physical releases that are just codes in a box is? An actual physical game.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But like
I know. I'm you know,
because like at least back on Switch 1 where it was just like our game is too big for this fucking cartridge. They were rare, but like, and you know, no one was ever happy with them. And like, cause I'm trying not to like say this and I make it seem like I like this, but like, I'm trying to look at it from like every side possible. Like I do like in some way, if I get one of these things, I can just still give it to my girlfriend and then she downloads and gets to play the game, which is not something like I can't gift digital games on the eShop.
Right.
There are some uses for this thing, but then we found out that basically every single third-party game is a key card.
Yes.
Now there's a number that's been going around, and you know, this is just like a rumor. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt with everything, but I'm inclined to believe it because it makes a lot of sense. Some people were saying that apparently the Switch 2 cartridges that are an actual game, like on the cartridge itself, the Switch cartridges are about $16 per cartridge, no matter the size. So if your game, like after all the different, like, you know, licensing costs and cuts, it's 16 for just the cartridge. So if your game's not selling for $70, you're not making a profit. And if that is true, which it seems to be because it's Nintendo, that is so fucking gross.
Oh yeah.
It makes total sense. Yeah. But like, I think though, the problem I'm having on top of this is a lot of third parties are not doing like, they're not offering upgrade paths, which is really bad. Like, because a big wave of this came, and this is so fucking frustrating, from the Sega launch selection of games.
Yeah.
All of their games that they're offering like on launch and a bit after at the moment, it's like 5 games or so, are offering no way to upgrade from your Switch 1 version. Like, cool. I think the big 3 are Puyo, Sonic X Shadow, and Raido. They are not offering upgrades. And for a lot of them, I don't even think they're offering like save like transfers.
Of course not. Because
I think Sonic is, which is weird that that's the one you pick.
Yeah, right, because that's the game that like ostensibly
not the fucking RPG.
Yeah, you could like recreate. I could recreate my Sonic save file in like 45 minutes, bro. Like it won't take that long. Like this is kind of what I'm getting at, where like it would not surprise me if Nintendo even has like a stipulation about like if there is like a mandate with Nintendo where it's like, if you want your game on our console, this is how you have to offer it. No, you cannot do a free update for a Switch 1 game. You have to repackage it as a Switch 2 title because we are.
But that's the frustrating part.
Corporate speak. We are like focused on the Switch 2's
Yeah, but there are games that are doing it. There are third-party games that are doing it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, okay, so on launch, the 2 third-party games that are not on key cards and that have everything just on the cart is Cyberpunk and that new Rune Factory game. And for that Rune Factory game, what they're doing is literally saying, so what we have here is we have basically a unique cartridge that has the Switch 1 version with an like basically a voucher to upgrade your game. So you're getting the whole game on the cart. And it's going to have all the Switch 2 enhancements.
Right, which you download as like a patch.
Yeah.
Basically.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why the fuck are we not doing this for the rest of these? Like, yeah, it's like the fact that like my Switch 2 version of the Raito remaster is the same price as my Switch 1 version, but the Switch 1 version's the game on the cart.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
It makes no sense. And I can't like for Raito, I'm not able to upgrade it. I'm not able to bring my save over. Like at that point, I might as well just play the game on Switch 1 on my Switch 2. And like, if you like, I've looked at like, you know, file size comparisons and stuff. These Switch 2 releases, they are going to be much better like as games than a lot of the Switch 1 versions. Like the stuff they've shown off for like the Sonic X Shadow port, like that looks great. Fantastic. All these games are probably going to be really great to play on Switch 2, like the native Switch 2 versions.
Yep.
But I'm not like, I want to buy these games physically, but I'm just getting a big middle finger, like to go fuck myself.
And this is sort of like the nefarious thing about this is that think about this, right? I'm not even going to look at this from a consumer standpoint right now because it's obvious this is incredibly anti-consumer. This is just not, it's an anti-consumer practice. There's no other way. You cannot slice this in a way that you get pro-consumer practice out of it. This is entirely anti-consumer. But do you know who else this affects? I want you to notice something. The companies that are adhering to this full throttle and that can probably afford to do this and that probably won't, you know, be harmed by this are the bigger ones. So a lot of the stuff that's surrounding like the Switch 2 business practices is actually going to harm smaller publishers, smaller studios in the long run. And do you know what that means? That makes them easier to acquire.
Yes.
So not only is this anti-consumer, but it's also going to influence the industry negatively and impact it negatively, but it's going to be great for Nintendo and for Sega because they can monopolize the market. And that is what's going to happen because if you can't make a physical game, if you cannot afford the physical copy of something, right? The physical cartridge costs, right? You're going to make a key card. But if someone has to choose between a key card and a digital purchase, they're going to go for a digital purchase. However, one of the most important things for a smaller business that does physical releases is that they are on store shelves and that people see them and grab them at store shelves because that's like a decent, like digital storefronts are very big. It's very hard to see.
The eShop is terrible and filled with garbage.
The eShop is terrible. So like a lot of smaller games, a lot of like, when I say smaller, I don't mean like, you know, indie, but like, I mean like, you know,
shovelware.
I mean, no, I'm talking about like a lot of like lower tier.
My Hentai Studio 95.
A lot of stuff
that's, oh my God.
a lot of stuff that's like not AAA that is on store shelves physically for the Switch 1. They make their sales off of being on those shelves. Like a considerable amount of that is like physical stuff because digital storefronts are terrible to navigate on especially in Nintendo's like garden. Oh my God. And like
I've looked through just now the eShop while you've talked about this. I'd say like 7 out of 10 games are just AI slop now.
Yeah.
There's a squirrel with a gun.
And it's like
there's a border police game.
People that are
a truck game.
People that are like dismissing a lot of the complaints or like trying to find ways to spin this as like a non-issue are kind of like not acknowledging the fact that like the Switch 1 was such a great console for so many smaller titles like so many like non AAA stuff, and it had a huge audience, and like physical purchases for those games was a lot. Like I don't know, like ask anybody with a fucking Switch. Like ask them like how many physical copies of a Switch game do you own? Like I think with the exception of like one person we both know, like everybody's got Switch games. Like everybody's got Switch game cases. Like everybody, like a ton of people buy physical media for Switch because it's like convenient and like, you know, useful.
They look good on shelves. Which
They
is
look good on
Switch
shelves,
cases are ugly.
Yeah, they're atrocious. But like that's what I mean is like in the long run, you are not like they're playing up this like third party support thing. But if you look at who the third party support is, it's all like well-known companies, and I guarantee you that support is not going to be there in the long. I'm going to make that prediction. I'm going to make the prediction that Switch 2 is going to go the way of the Wii U, and it's gonna like come out, and people and Wii U pre-orders were very good. They sold pretty well
out for a while.
Yeah, it's like people are going to get their Switch 2s. They're going to look at the games that are on the Switch. They're going to play their Nintendo game, and then they're not going to use it for anything else. And then Nintendo's not going to make as much money as they think they are. And they're going to go, why? What happened? What do we do? And they're not going to, and we're just going to repeat the cycle we repeat with every other Nintendo console in history.
They need that desperation though. Like that's why I think the Switch worked as well as it did, is because they got
desperate
humbled.
To have a good idea.
They got humbled. And it's like, it sucks that this is the worst possible situation that I was like expecting that could have happened, because the fucked up thing is that the Switch 2, the hardware looks great. Like
the machine itself. Yeah.
The machine and the stuff they've shown that this is capable of. I have been so smitten with this goddamn system. I'm so excited to play it. I'm so like,
I have noticed not a lot of stuff has announced that it's going to have mouse support.
I've heard a couple things. I'm waiting to kind of hear a bit more about like other games we got coming out. Like I know that Civilization port is going to have mouse support. I think that's cool for Civ heads.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, oh my God, if that new The Somnium game comes out without mouse support, I'm gonna be like, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing?
Nothing. They're doing nothing because, and that's another thing. I wonder how much Nintendo charges people to push updates on their infrastructure.
If it was cheap before, I bet it'll cost more money now.
They'll be like, just make a game key card and put out a Switch 2 version.
And it's like, you know I'm part of the problem. I pre-ordered the system day one. I get it. But like, there are parts of Nintendo I genuinely like really like they're creatives. I like the games they make. I think it's like, I have a lot of, and I like the console. Like I like playing my games on Switch, and I'm probably going to play most of my games on Switch too from now on. Throwing my Steam Deck in the garbage. Not really. Don't look into my garbage for my Steam Deck. I'm still keeping it, but it's just frustrating,
It sucks.
It just fucking sucks.
Well,
fuck you, Shigeru Miyamoto.
I think it's only gonna get worse when he dies.
You made it sound like when he dies, he's gonna like haunt the office.
Shigeru back from hell.
Microtransactions every time you open up a game.
Kiss a girl.
Oh, I've made the Nintendo fridge. When you open it and make the mushroom sound.
Nintendo Shit Cube 2.
Ooh, this washing machine plays weird music.
But like, goddamn, am I not going to be playing Cyberpunk on my Switch day one?
So excited to buy my Nintendo ear pick.
What?
An ear pick. Like a thing to like clean your ears out with. Nintendo brand.
Why are you doing that with your Switch, man?
I got an alarm clock already. I mean, the sky's the limit.
I know a guy who has the Alarmo.
Yeah. So when I was checking out the Alarmo, there were also like, it will only play licensed Nintendo music. And I'm like, I mean, obviously, but like, what else would it fucking play?
What did you wanted like Daft Punk?
Can it like do things that other smart alarm clocks do? No.
Quick, Alarmo, play the Tron Ares soundtrack by 9 Inch Nails.
Alarmo, I'm feeling pretty down. Can you play like whimsical Breath of the Wild music? Thanks.
I love this song. Wait, the note's about to. Ding dong.
Bing bong. How did you make the Breath of the Wild soundtrack? Oh, we gave this parakeet a little stick and he played on a little piano.
They're like accepting a game award and it's just like, bring the parakeet out.
Tweet, tweet, tweet. Bing bong. Sorry.
I was like, yeah. Woo! To be fair, I like that soundtrack, but it's always fun to make fun of.
Oh, it's super funny to just like think about because like you could totally go pull it up on YouTube right now and it's like 15 minutes of like wind noises and then occasionally like someone hits a key on a piano and then goes to get lunch.
So y'all want to do questions?
I do
Yeah,
actually.
let's do questions.
All right, we have a bit of a backlog.
Yeah, let's
little
go.
bit. We have a lot of it.
Carve through them.
We have a lot of questions.
That's fine. I like having a lot.
I'm still scrolling. Oh my
No,
god.
you're not. You're lying.
I'm literally scrolling up
So
and down.
many.
I'm scrolling up and down. Fuck. I don't know if we can get to all of these.
We can
So-
if we
If we're
offer
quick.
short answers.
Yes. Z asks, why do you think so many people want remakes to classic games that they consider to be masterpieces?
Nostalgia, and it feels safe.
Yeah. Like, because you would think, right? It's a classic game, so like, why are you remaking it? They just go play that one. And I think it's also like accessibility as well. Some classic games are just not available easily unless you pirate them, and some people don't just want to like play the game; they want to like have it.
If you're a sick freak like me, it's because you kind of like the idea of like seeing a new perspective on old stuff.
That's also a great point. It's like sometimes you just want to see like little touch because like, you know, classic games aren't like necessarily perfect games, right? So sometimes you're like, man, I really wish they would like re-release this with like these little quality of life. Like, you know, we have a better understanding of game design now. So it's like, I would really like to see this with improvements that feel doable without sort of ruining the identity of the game itself. Well, there's plenty of remakes and remasters that have done that. Like,
And some are cynical. Like, I'm not saying all remakes are perfect, but for
Yeah.
me, I'm always just like, even like, I don't even want like like someone to fix a game or make a better version of a game. I kind of just like as someone who
revisiting an
genuinely-
idea.
Yeah, I like revisiting old ideas. Like, I think that there can be cool stuff you can do with that,
Mhm.
but also just like my personal, like I'm a bit of a sicko for like even like port differences, stuff like that. So I always like to see different versions of games. It's just something I'm like fascinated by. So that's kind of why I find remakes so interesting.
Also,
but yeah.
remakes and remasters allow like The Last Remnant's a great example. The remaster of The Last Remnant adds the PC version stuff, and the PC
Mhm.
version of the original The Last Remnant is like infinitely way better for fundamentally important reasons that I won't get into, but like, yeah. So like sometimes you get a version parity with remasters and stuff. Next question.
Speedy asks, if you could have any full-sized pilotable Gundam for your personal and professional use, which would be and why?
Shining finger.
Can you repeat that question?
You own a Gundam, it big and real, it's yours. What Gundam?
The Tall Geese Mark II, because I'm a homosexual.
That's awesome.
We are different people.
I would pick the 00 Quanta because Setsuna would be in it and his smell would probably still be lingering in it because he's
Oh
cool.
Oh my god.
I like him. Did you know that like the 00 Quanta in every game it's ever been put out in, they've had to make up a moveset for it because by the nature of 00's plot, the 00 Quanta does not do any fighting.
It is
Oh.
a deterrence tool.
Well, it is thematically, it is a robot that does not exist to fight. And because 00, if nothing else, cares about its themes and ideas so fucking much, it says, no, the robot does not fight. And then every time it shows up in another game, they just have to make up some bullshit.
It can do like combo now.
Yeah, no, it can do some sick combos and it can do like a super special awesome moves.
I bet my ass would look great in latex. I'm just saying, put me in that G Gundam. Let's
Yeah.
go.
I mean,
Sure.
I think I would look fantastic in Trace's outfit, but that's
Setsuna's
everybody knows that.
Setsuna's outfit goes so hard. We are all the same person.
Mhm,
Um, let's see. This is a Pokemon question.
Do it.
There are only nine unused Pokemon type combinations. You're hired by Game Freak to create one of the remaining Pokemon.
No limits.
No limits.
So you got to pick one of the combinations.
Okay, so it's normal ice, normal bug, normal rock, normal steel, fire fairy, ice poison, ground fairy, bug dragon, rock ghost. I pick fire fairy.
I pick bug dragon.
I think ice poison would be really cool.
Yeah, you're right.
It'd be the worst fucking Pokemon ever because that type combination sucks. But
that is from Cephia. Thank you so much.
That'd be great. A little like poisonous snow Pokemon. Oh, he's so good.
Another one from Speedy. Do you think you could take the Easter Bunny 1v1?
Yes, absolutely.
I think I might get like a clump of hair.
Well, it depends.
Pulled out.
Am I medicated or unmedicated?
That's up to you.
I'm unmedicated.
You control the
right
buttons
now.
you press.
I'll kill that fucking.
You control
Easter
the pills you take.
Okay.
I'll skin that fucking bunny like that kid does in the Hatchet. You ever read the Hatchet? Fucked up.
I think the Easter Bunny, out of all the different mascot like things, it would play the dirtiest. I think it would so fucking too. Like knee you in the gut.
With the Easter egg basket.
I think it would like pull a gun out of the basket and shoot your kneecaps.
I'm gonna kick that bunny in the eggs.
I think immediately it would like it would pull out like bugs and swarm you. It would open an egg and then bees would come out and then chew your eyeballs out.
I fucking love
He's made
that.
out of chocolate, right?
Don't trust that fucking Easter Bunny.
Next question.
Bram asks, for each of you, which sport do you enjoy playing the most in video game form? Also, I guess, what's your favorite sports game?
I can answer this. I love soccer. I used to play it in real life. I used to play in a league. I love playing soccer in video game form, but my favorite sports game is one of the older NBA 2K games because before it got ruined with like completely poisonous microtransactions, the 2K NBA games were actually like pretty competently made. It's unfortunate that they just copy paste the same, like literally like the same code into every game and they don't like fix any of the bugs or anything. I have a great video of like a basketball player pulling the basketball through his stomach to steal it from me. It's hilarious. Anyway, yeah, soccer. Oh, fuck.
Blitzball.
No, you can't say that.
That shouldn't count. That's not fair.
Okay, no, I'm changing my answer. It's blitzball.
No, you can't. But no,
come on.
Blitzball.
Real.
Teach us how to blitz.
Is soccer, basketball. It's both.
Grow up. Titus isn't real.
You know, some could say the same of redacted Clair Obscur 33. Sorry. Teach us how to blitz.
I want to be a blitzball when I grow up.
Mine would be like skateboarding or like rollerblading.
Oh, fuck, wait, can I change my answer again then?
No, you picked blitzball.
You're fucking basketball.
Oh,
fucking stick with it, loser.
Skate 3 is so fun.
No. Now, I've got two possible answers. I got to back up in case you guys say no. Does Jet Set Radio count?
Yes.
It's inline skating. Yeah, I'd count it.
Then yes, it's Jet Set Radio. Future. I need to make it clear. Future.
Is that the one that has the Rob Zombie Dragula remix?
I don't think so.
No, I can't remember if it's in the first one or the second one, but I know it's in one of those. I remember that being the case.
But yeah, thank you so much, Bram. Exy, one of our mods, asks, we're at one of the MMO seasonal event calendar heights now between April Fools and Easter. Oops. What's the best holiday content in a game you've all played, and how do you feel about it?
Oh.
And why is it Y2K and Sonic Adventure? Well, you got mine, so.
You know, I'm surprised Cosm and I are, well, I guess we're thinking about it because we've played a lot of like games with seasonal events. I'm going to say, I don't want to say Hello Kitty because that's new. So, see, because like I want to say Animal Crossing. So seasonal. Oh, you know
Stuff
what?
in the game changes per season.
Oh, like that kind of thing where it's like a different season means that. No, it's holiday content, so it's anything
exactly.
that's like,
holiday content.
No, like if you're at Christmas, there's
a
game
Christmas
changes.
thing, yeah, or like a Christmas event in the game. I'm gonna say like you could probably pick.
Way back in the day, I used to like Overwatches.
Oh yeah, those are fun. I mean, I think
I meant way back in the day.
Those are really fun.
WoW's Christmas stuff is pretty fun because you can pelt each other with snowballs and sometimes you'll knock each other down.
That's
I
sick.
like the Thanksgiving one because you earn like fucked up ugly pilgrim attire for making turkeys for people.
I'm going to go with just like insert Animal Crossing holiday event here because
Cool.
I like the exclusive furniture stuff and the exclusive NPCs you can meet. That's always like a fun part of Animal Crossing.
Java asks, what's a video game genre you find the most subject to people completely misunderstanding the appeal of? Bonus points if it's a developer publisher not getting why people like their own games.
Turn-based RPG.
And then the note says, question may or may not be inspired by me being a fan of RPGs and VNs.
So what's a video
fucking
game genre?
VNs? A lot of like it's the usual like ironic VN crap. You'll often see. Honestly, I think like some subsection of games does have an irony problem, which is really funny because I've been playing 100 Line a lot. But like that's like the flirting versus harassment thing.
I don't even think it's irony in that game. I think it's more like just like it's like parody. It's like
Well,
like,
but
irony
I'm
is-
saying there's like a level of like
Yeah.
taking the piss.
yeah, but
But
like
it's
that's what
like
I-
it's a good piss. It's a real nice stream.
yeah.
It's not like sputtering.
Irony is almost like, I wouldn't say it's bitter, but it's like it has like a negative like it views the thing it is being ironic about negatively. Like it's actively making fun of it from a place of like ridicule, whereas like parody is often like it likes those things, you know?
Mhm.
So it's like it's
Mhm.
one of those things, I think.
Hey, I don't mean to interrupt this, but there are two very important things that have just happened right now.
What
Oh.
happened?
Epic won the Epic versus Apple case, and Apple could literally be brought to court for like gross misconduct or something. And
Based.
Elon Musk is losing his position as CEO of Tesla.
Based.
Yeah.
Low tax, low tax, low tax, low tax.
low
I might have to
tax.
edit that out, but
Yeah.
No, what? No.
I don't know who low tax is.
he's the guy that
we'll
used
tell you
to
when
run.
you're older.
Oh yeah, we'll tell you later.
Okay, thank you. I will expect like a whole fucking
Situation.
Here, wait.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll message you what it means, and then you can just laugh when you see it.
okay.
So I was gonna say sports games. Actually, I think a lot of people misunderstand the appeal of sports games. I think the people that maybe not the people on the ground making the game, but publishers and people in charge don't understand why people like those games. People go to play sports games, or sports games are really cool because they're essentially just strategy action games.
Mhm.
Literally, like they're all built like that. There's literally, you are in NBA 2K, whatever, pick a year. You play career mode, and then every game you are graded on your performance by performing the role that you are assigned on the team well. So if you're a point guard, it grades you based on how good of a point guard you are, and like whether you like catch rebounds, steal the ball, do good passes, get assists, score points in the right timing. You actually lose points if one of your teammates like calls for a pass and you just ignore him, and the game is like, that was actually like a good opportunity for, you know, a play to happen. So like, I actually think sports games are super cool. If you go play older sports games, they're very much aware of their like strategic components, and then modern sports games and the audience for sports games nowadays and the way people see sports games is like, there's just an excuse to play with your action figures of your favorite athletes and like your favorite teams, and then go online and say awful things to each other and sell you crap, because that's all they do now. They're all just full of microtransactions, and they're basically gacha games that you pay $70 for to pay more money to play the gacha game that's inside of it. That's my answer.
Turn-based RPGs. I would have a different answer, but I feel like turn-based RPGs is the easiest one right now. As
Yeah.
I feel
Well-
myself fading.
Yeah.
The fader.
Here's a question that'll perk you right back up.
Okay.
Let's see. The dumbest bitch we know asks,
Sonia.
Hello.
was oh god,
Arthas Menethil.
was
Oh my
Arthas
God.
Menethil justified in Cullen, the city of Strathrome?
Stratholme.
Strathholm, the culling of Strathholme.
But no, I'm there. That's me. It's
Did
the
Haman
Cullen.
Karn?
Did Haman Karn effectively utilize girl power in Dublin?
I have no context for that.
That's a oh.
Was
Oh,
Crow
you
armbrust right to do that very cool thing on October 30th.
Yeah.
S1204 in Heimdallr.
Yes, he was, but I'll keep going. Who are y'all's favorite fictional war criminals? Why, and were they justified in their actions?
Big Boss.
You pick like the best one, like just
was he justified?
Big Boss.
It depends who you ask. DC? Depends on what exactly he did and when.
Depends on who you ask.
Mm-hmm. I'll be the Kazuhira Miller of the situation and say yes. until he faked his death and fucked off with Ocelot. Then morally apprehensible, go fuck yourself.
I like that Metal Gear is a story about a guy that was so stupid he misunderstood.
2 guys.
Well, one guy starting so dumb and that like
it's the Patriot Clowns shit post. Anyone who dies for their country is a clown.
And then the other guy who was like, that dude is so hot. That dude is so hot and cool.
Zero and Big Boss are the dumbest people ever. And the boss picked the dumbest people to ever inherit her legacy.
It is.
Oh my God.
I'm so like, they need to hurry up and put out that second Legacy collection because I want to go through all those games again. Like the story you get from Metal Gear almost kind of on accident because they kept needing to make more games is so fucking funny. Like what that series ends up morphing into because of all that is genuinely like it's fascinating.
Yeah.
But I'd say Crow's pretty high up there. That is my boy. He was so justified. I wish he aimed better. But we would have had a lot less Trails games. Is there really any other answer but like Char Aznable?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like
damn.
that, you want to talk about dipshits? Like that is my Lorbo.
But like justified in their actions, like almost like
he's a silly guy. The thing about Char is he's like
so close, you know?
He was right, but like he didn't know. He did not, like he had an idea and everyone assumed things wouldn't get better or things would get better and he was
quick drop the colony.
Well, no, and then
get rid of Australia right now.
Worse. No, he didn't drop the colony. It's someone else. His whole thing was like the Earth Federation will literally kill everyone with their like their policies and their terrible like way of ruling. We have to get everyone off Earth. Like this will get so bad that this fucking like neoliberal government will like allow us to all fucking stagnate because they're capitalist pigs. And everyone was like, nah. And then the rest of the UC happens after Char's counterattack, and it's like, what would have been better though? Damn, this gets really bad.
Camille, have you ever committed to doing something even though you know you have no idea what you're doing, and then you do it for 10 years? No, Char, I've never. No, not at all. Yeah,
no, Char,
me neither.
No, but Char, look at all these girls I picked up with my autistic Riz. He was like, I'm so proud of you, my boy. Keep going.
I'm going to go fuck my not husband, Amuro Ray, now.
Just found out he became a cop. This shit sucks.
I'm trying to think about who my favorite war criminal is. You know what? I'm actually going to say Chamber Valorant. And no, he's not justified. Basically, he's an arms dealer who's fueling interdimensional like resource hogging and climate change and the destruction of the planet.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Based?
Yeah.
Dealing arms is a war crime.
And he's French.
Oh, a very French episode.
Because I would say Arthas, but he's not justified in his actions at all. And he's kind of an easy pick. So I'll go Chamber Valorant.
All right. We have one more question and then we are caught up.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of questions about questions. Okay, cool. Snigs asks, hey Burnouts, I'm currently playing through Blueprints with my wife and kids. While I very much enjoy the puzzle aspects of the game, I'm afraid that the roguelike bits have only made me more and more frustrated as the game goes on. Usually I drop the game by now or go ahead and look up answers to get to the end and cut my losses, But that's not an option since I'm playing with my family. So my question is this. Have you ever forced yourself to play a game far longer than you would have otherwise just because of who you were playing it with?
Yes. And it's fighting games. It's every fighting game I've ever played in my entire life. I get so bored playing fighting games. I am not interested in getting better at fighting games. I do not care about fighting game notation. My interest in fighting games is purely from a visual fuck around aspect. That's why I play King in Tekken 8. And every time I play fighting games with any of my friends, present company included, I get bored way sooner than I let on, way sooner than anybody else, but I keep playing because I'm having a good time with my friends. However, I am acutely aware that I am not interested in playing the game at that point. I am doing it for the social and like friendship aspects that the game provides.
God, you're so right though. That's why I only play Multi-Blood now, because the matches are short and it's like unga bunga, brain activate big chemicals, bullshit, crazy moves, fires off my neurons. Like, it's so fun to play Multi-Blood in a call with like the right kind of people. And then you basically just like go nonverbal for a little bit and you make just like grunts and you just go, and then the match is over and you're like, oh, that was pretty good. Yeah, you did good. Yeah. But like, honestly, yeah, like so many like fighting games now, I just like drop really fast. Or like, someone will be like, oh, you want to play this? We want to play this new fighting game we got? And I was like, You know what, actually?
I've never done that.
You know what?
Yeah.
Modern hunting games. That's my answer.
What?
Monster Hunter.
Oh,
for the same reason.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I don't entertain that. But the thing is, I'm really lucky because my partner, who I kind of do everything with, we're on the same speed. So if it's like, I don't really want to play this, oh, let's just not play it then. Or I'm not really feeling this. Yeah, me either. So I've never had to do that. And like when I do stuff with friends, I enjoy it because I'm playing with friends. So I never have the feeling of not enjoying it until way after the fact. And then I'm like, I really fucking hated that, but I loved playing it with my friends.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't play a lot of like, besides like certain multiplayer games, I don't play a lot of games with friends.
That being said, if the next Soul Calibur comes out, like I'm there. I'm there day one.
Siegfried, my 5'2", historically accurate German king.
Let's
GC,
go
are you
kill
gonna
it.
play Soul Calibur with me on Switch 2 on launch day?
It's not gonna come out on the Switch 2.
Yeah, it is.
No, stop.
What?
Dude, Soul Calibur is on the Nintendo Online.
Oh, you mean like the GameCube version?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, we should all play Soul Edge. There's no way to play it together. We should all play Soul Edge together.
You and your Soul Calibur puritanism. We gotta play the fucking the weird one. We gotta play the first one.
We have to play the first one, where Siegfried, where it introduces everyone with their heights and their countries of origin.
Before Siegfried became a nightmare.
Yes, he was.
That's the game where he becomes Nightmare, if I remember correctly, or where he starts becoming Nightmare.
Yeah. Because Ivy's father is in that one. He's not dead yet. Cervantes isn't dead yet. He's alive.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Colin, you should play Soul Edge.
I don't really. I've tried to play Soul Calibur, and I just don't.
Has a really good career mode.
I just don't fuck with them. They don't hit the brain right. I require very specific, like, kinds of fighting games.
Soul Calibur 3's character creator is one of the best character creators anyone has ever made, ever.
You know what I am looking forward to, though, in regards to fighting games? Underrated fucking fighting game revival this month with that new Capcom collection. CVS 2 is coming back. Ugh. That is one of my favorite fighting games of all time.
Yeah.
I will be there.
That'll be fun. Is that where, like, God Akuma's from?
I don't know. That's like, that was my introduction to the SNK, like, characters. And what an introduction. What a fucking video game.
It's incredible. But yeah, thank you for all of your questions, everybody. I'm very happy that we caught up to them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now leave us really ponderous questions, like, for the next episode and tell me why me enjoying the New World was problematic or something. I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
Ask me, like, you should ask me, like, questions about, like, Greek philosophy.
Oh, yeah, and how I'm, like, the Diogenes of the friend group.
Yeah.
You should ask me what I thought about the Ato CG.
Yeah.
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 just
So
ask
go
us
ahead and ask us
questions.
questions, but ask us specifically those questions. We will not
No.
answer any other ones.
Yep.
No, ask us whatever you want, guys. But
Yeah.
In the
you know what?
comments, I better
Yeah.
hear people talk about the Ato CG.
Well, all right. Well, we got to wrap this up because we have to go to our group screening of Thunderbolts or whatever in like 5 days or something.
We're sitting at the
Uh,
front row for the IMAX. I want to see the big face.
Yeah. You want to look
In
up
person.
and see Sebastian Stan's stretched, distorted face?
Exactly.
I'll clap whenever he shows up on screen and then no other.
Yeah. Also, another cool, fun drop. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer was just released on Steam.
Whoa.
Is that game
Yep.
good?
That's the arcade game, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm gonna post it here. All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening in this week. You know where to find us. And if you don't, well, I don't know how you fucking found us. But feel free to
Keep
join our
finding.
Discord and hang out. Yeah, keep finding us.
Keep finding.
Keep
And
looking.
recommend us to your friends. Not your family,
Yes.
though, but your friends.
Yeah.
Financially support the podcast.
Although if you
We
got
don't
hot
make money
single
off
mom,
of this. But
Give
me
us money somehow. Send it to us in envelopes.
Cloud, we can sustain ourselves on Cloud. Make it so they have to invite us
Yes.
to game events or something.
Honestly,
Yes.
yeah. Literally just start talking about burnout culture in like conversations with your friends
Mm-hmm.
to the point where like they don't start like they stop fucking with you like for real,
Yeah.
but they fuck with us because they just hear us so much. Like that's the kind of like clout
Yes.
invasion we need to be doing.
Yes.
No more
right.
like timid marketing. We're gonna be aggressive from now on.
great. Cosmo and I are really good at that.
Yes.
Ah.
And then feeling
maybe-
bad about it and deleting all of my posts.
Stop. That's too real.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
okay, everybody. See you later.
All right,
Bye-bye.